Well, the Spurs outscored the Mavericks in Dallas last night, winning 135-123. Victor Wembanyama scored 29 points, had 11 boards, 3 blocks, and a couple of steals. Spurs welcome the Mavs to San Antonio tomorrow night, 5 o'clock tip-off inside the Frost Bank Center. NFL Hall of Fame class of 2026 announced last night. No Darren Woodson, no Jason Witten, Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Roger Craig, Luke Kuechly, and Adam Vinatieri.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Live from AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row in San Francisco with coverage leading up to Sunday's big game. It's The Blitz with Jason Minix and Joe Reinagel on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Happy Friday. We have made it to the end of the week. It is Friday here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel here in San Antonio. Out in San Francisco, that's where Jason Minix is standing by. And, well, Jason, I tell you what, we are about to start this show with a bang, my friend.
Well, we are. Emmitt Smith will be by here any moment now. We just got a text from his PR people that he's about 2 minutes behind.
All right.
For number 22. Although I will say it's kind of light today here on this Friday Radio Row compared to the chaos of the last 2 days here on Radio Row in San Francisco. But you're right, starting the day off with a bang, having the great Emmitt Smith, the NFL's all-time leading rusher, who will join us here momentarily.
Yeah, looking forward to that as always. I mean, he's a big hit every single year. No doubt about it. Obviously, we're close. And, Jason, we have a poll up on our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page. A very simple question. Who will win the Super Bowl? Seattle, New England. You go there, San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page, and vote on that. Early results have the Seahawks running away with it, and that makes me feel so good.
Well, I know it would, and it is time to call your shot. And you can go vote in the poll on the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. But again, for 2 weeks, you have not wavered off of New England. I have not wavered off of Seattle. It feels like most people in San Francisco that aren't from San Francisco are expecting the Seahawks to win. It's kind of interesting because you talk to people that are from here and 49er fans, the last thing they want is the Seattle Seahawks to celebrate in their home stadium. kind of like when the Green Bay Packers played the Pittsburgh Steelers at Jerry World. You hate both of those teams, right? As a Cowboy fan, one of them got to celebrate in Jerry's building. It is kind of interesting, the dynamic, because, you think about rivalries. People in San Francisco hate the Seattle Seahawks.
Well, of course they do. Of course they do. In same division, it'd be like going to Philadelphia. They hate the Cowboys. Or in Dallas, You hate everybody in your division. That's where it all starts. You're right, and I can see San Francisco 49er fans not wanting that to happen. And I know most of the country is rooting for Seattle because, well, they hate the New England Patriots. It's just it's a love-hate thing. But that's okay. I know we're going to talk a lot about this big game coming up here on Sunday, and I'm looking forward to it. It is finally Friday, and that means the weekend is upon us, Jason.
Absolutely, it is upon us as the great Emmitt Smith is walking up now as we get this show underway. I mean, you start the Friday of Super Bowl Radio Row with the all-time leading rusher in the NFL, and all the snacks are yours, my friend, Emmitt Smith. Joe Reinagel is back in San Antonio. We're live right now. So, yeah, Joe's in San Antonio. So
Joe couldn't make the trip?
Yeah, company went cheap.
How you doing, Emmitt? How you doing?
Yeah, they always going cheap. They want you to do more work while they continue to go cheap.
Yeah, exactly
right. I want to. How much money the CEO making?
Yeah, that's always. It's kind of like Jerry going cheap on the Cowboys defense this year, isn't it?
Well, it is, but very cheap. So cheap that they couldn't stop nothing.
Boy, and Emmitt, you had to be like shaking your finger and yelling at the TV and all of that kind of stuff because the offense was pretty spectacular. The defense just couldn't stop anybody.
Well, yes, I agree. And that's been the problem, is being able to put all three phases together and at one time. And so for us, that's the challenge this offseason. We need to get things together if we want to get back into the Super Bowl.
how many years we've been doing this? Well, actually, you were actually winning Super Bowls the last time they actually did this, right? Mm-hmm. And you know, every year we're talking about next year's Cowboys. This year's offense was good enough, but the defense, as you said, it was just bad.
Right.
Jerry said last night on the red carpet, nobody misses the Super Bowl more than him. But he's that guy that can actually do something about it.
He's not. He's the one guy that can actually help bring the groceries into the house. But it's up to the team to put together the chemistry led by Brian Schottenheimer, having the right coaches, the right mindset, the right commitments in terms of philosophy, offensively, philosophy, defensively. Bringing those things together is the challenge. And that's on the leadership of the team.
Well, you know, Emmitt, that brings up a pretty good point because you talk about Jerry. He did something this year that, to me, was very un-Jerry-like. They went out and hired Christian Parker as a defensive coordinator. And typically Jerry likes to hire people he knows. This time around, it didn't happen. And I like the hire. How about you?
Well, we'll see how it all comes together. I mean, because at the end of the day, that hire has to be compatible to the offense, and the offense has to be compatible to that defense hire. But most importantly, if they don't upgrade the linebacker core, they don't upgrade the D-line and give those guys that we traded for some help when there's a rotation need, then we're not really getting better. And so I think with the picks that we have from the Michael Parsons trade, it lends for a very unique opportunity for us to get better and get better fairly quickly. And it doesn't take long in the National Football League.
Yeah, I think you're seeing that with Seattle right now as we visit with the great Emmitt Smith here on Radio Row in San Francisco. A couple of years ago, you and I and Joe, we were all talking about the Cowboys ignoring the running back position. And obviously it didn't work well for them. What do you think of the way Javonte Williams played this year, and do you think he'll be back?
What I saw this year was a commitment to the run game as well as the balance that's required. Dak Prescott got better because of that balance. CeeDee Lamb got better because of that balance. George Pickens came in and he made everything else look a lot better because of that balance. It's that balance that the whole organization that we know as the Cowboys today was built off of. That's the same balance we had back in the 90s, and I believe it's going to be the same balance that's going to take us back to the Super Bowl once we get back to that level of commitment to what we used to do.
Well, you know, Emmitt, the discussion in the offseason is going to be about George Pickens and whether the Cowboys give him a long-term deal or franchise tag him or however that's going to work. How do you feel about George Pickens long-term? Are you in with that young man being a Cowboy for the long haul?
I would say I'm in with George as long as he's committed to become a professional, whether he gets the ball or not. At the end of the day, you want CeeDee on the field and CeeDee want him on the field. And they all need Williams carrying the rock. And they need Dak Prescott back there throwing the rock. All of them need it. And if you don't handle it like that, because Irvin had Harper.
Mm-hmm.
Rice had Taylor. Joe Montana had all of that. Then you start talking about the guys out of Miami. Dan Marino had Duper and Clayton. Terry Bradshaw had Swan and Stallworth and others. Roger Staubach had Pearson and daggone what's the name?
Uh-huh.
Come on. You got to have two solid guys. And without those two guys on the field being complementary to each other, it's not going to happen the way we want it. And so George Pickens would be a great asset to the team, but he needs to step it up mentally in terms of learning how to become a professional athlete. And I think a lot of young players need to have that. Therefore, they need to be in Dallas working together, sharing and learning together. I don't see the offense. I don't see our team I don't see young players doing what we used to do. And what we used to do, we forged relationships. And those relationships became meaningful relationships well beyond the game.
You know, it's interesting because Dak has the field in his backyard. Guys can go work out. We don't know who always is showing up, and if it's just the young receivers that Dak is developing trust with, but CD, GP, but they seem like they're really good friends. And CD was with us on Wednesday here on Radio Row and said, if George Pickens makes more than him, he doesn't care as long as he's there. And you know how the locker room measuring sticks go. Do you buy that from CD?
Yes, I do.
1A or
yes, I do buy that.
Yeah,
I do buy that because that's the way we were. That's the way you have to be. The world may not want to see it that way. People may want to put you against that guy and all those kind of things. It's not how we think. I don't care. I mean, his CD time will come back up again, and it happens that way. So at the end of the day, I trust what CD says. I don't think he's just saying it just to be saying it.
See, I believe him. No hesitation. He just wants to win. Get him here.
I think at the end of the day, Dak wants George Pickens as well. I think we should just go ahead and try to get this thing done, get it behind us, so we can have a quiet offseason and not a whole lot of fanfare. The fanfare should be around the new draft picks that comes in and the excitement around what the defense is looking like in terms of the improvements that we're making and the guys that we're bringing in to improve our team so we can have a level of confidence that we're moving in the right direction. And then once that happens and materializes itself, we should remain in that same old mode and just continue to add good quality pieces to what we're talking about. And before we look up, we could be back in the bowl game within 2 years. You never know.
I totally agree with that. It can happen pretty quickly. But, Emmitt, you know Jerry as well as anybody. And when you're talking about an extension, you know how he operates. He's not very quick and doesn't seem to be in a hurry to make deals get done. Do you think it might change this time around with George Pickens?
I don't know. I think it should change. I think if we've been doing the same thing over and over for the last 30 years and expecting stuff to change, we obviously got it wrong because nothing has really changed. We're still losing. We're not in the playoff. We're not in the Super Bowl. We're not even in the NFC Championship game. So something has to change. And it's a philosophy, it's a mindset, and it's a coaching change.
It's going to be a crazy when and if. And hopefully sooner rather than later, the Cowboys actually get back into this game and win. Again, you think about how long ago you won those 3 Super Bowls. It's that 30 years is crazy because we're not old enough to have that be 30 years ago, right? But you also have the gold jacket. You're a Hall of Famer. We got a new class inducted last night. I want to get your thoughts on all the news leading up to, as we all kind of found out, people find out ahead of time. I still think Darren Woodson should have been in that class last night. But the fact that Bill Belichick isn't, Robert Kraft isn't, as a Hall of Famer, your thoughts on this year's class?
I think all of the guys that's not in it is going to overshadow the guys that are going in because of just the philosophy around why they're not in it. There's probably 2 more slots. I don't know if they limited it to just 5. If they did, fine. I think they did Belichick some injustice because he has more Super Bowl rings than any player, any coach, probably more than any organization in the National Football League history. That in itself, as a D coordinator and as a head coach, qualifies him as a Hall of Fame coach. And that's a problem. I think I agree with you. Darren Woodson should have been in as well. And I don't know why he's not. I don't know what the philosophies were in the selection process. Whatever the philosophies were, they didn't get it right. They got it wrong again. And they're going to continue to get it wrong until people start questioning the individuals in terms of why they voted a certain way. And I think we should have the right to ask them questions why you voted that way. What was your rhyme? What was your reasoning? What was your thinking? If you can justify your rhyme, your reason, and your thinking without questioning or criticism, great. I think people can get behind it and understand it. But no one has had a chance to sit here and isolate these people and ask them those tough questions.
Well, yeah,
I got to answer tough questions every day about things that I shouldn't have to answer questions around. I should be talking about how great it is these 5 guys are going in. But instead, you got me up here talking about the process.
Got the process here on Radio Row. And Emmitt, you always do some great work out here now working with Narcan. Tell us about that.
Yes, I've been working with Narcan for a number of years now. I think you guys are very familiar with me and Narcan talking about the Ready to Rescue campaign. Narcan is we're still trying to spread awareness around the epidemics of opioid overdoses. If you have a new carrying case, call carrynarcan.com. You can go to carrynarcan.com to get more information. You go to narcan.com to get this carrying case for free. Narcan is part of the Ready to Rescue campaign, meaning lay, spray, and stay. If you find someone numb or responsive, it's a possibility they could be suffering from an opioid overdose. I would just say lay them down on the ground, spray some Narcan nasal spray in one of their nostrils, call 911 and wait there for 911 to come help you. And so we're trying to encourage people to stay ready so they don't have to get ready.
Emmitt Smith, the NFL's all-time leading rusher. Always a treat to see you here on Radio Row, my friend.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you, Emmitt.
It's great.
All right.
Emmitt Smith here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star.
Always great talking with Emmitt Smith and always opinionated when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, and that's what we love about him, without a question. And I like just the unfiltered responses that we get from one Emmitt Smith. It is incredible. A lot of Cowboys talk. We talked with Michael Irvin yesterday, Emmitt Smith today. Jerry Jones and Dak Prescott were on the red carpet last night at the NFL Honors Meeting. We're going to hear from them because the Cowboys are actually going to go play overseas. Well, not necessarily overseas, but out of the United States. We'll hear from Dak and Jerry when we return here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Our AA Best Bell Bonds radio row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. More behind-the-scenes access is coming up next on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the big game in Silicon Valley, and the only local station bringing you exclusive wall-to-wall coverage from the Bay Area. All brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. We're live from Radio Row with insider interviews, breaking stories, and all of the pregame excitement leading up to the superb hour. From the biggest names in sports to behind-the-scenes access, we've got it all. Your AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Your front row seat to the backstage action, live from the Bay Area, is 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
I'd like to thank the Academy for bringing me back from the dead and sharing my story with the world. I mean, I was doing Vicodin smoothies before smoothies were cool, man. Because I'm the biggest star in the world. Michael Jackson tried to do Vicodin smoothies and he died. Never my ass.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Listen to the John Clay Wolf Show, Saturday morning at 8 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Big games, weekend trips, last-minute plans. February gets busy. That's why Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuits is opening their doors to new furry family members this month. With over 6,000 feet of indoor play space, 5 outdoor play yards, and fully trained staff supervising your pup's every move, your dog stays happy, safe, and active while you're away. Add grooming, training, and special one-on-one time to make every day, every stay unforgettable. Call 210-750-1298 today. Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuits.
Celebrate the 17th annual Pork Rind Appreciation Day with PorkRinds.com and NFL legend Devin Hester. We're teaming up to support the Gridiron Greats Assistance Fund, helping retired players get the medical care they deserve. Want to get in the game? Visit PorkRinds.com to play their Crunch Time Hero game and enter daily to win a trip to the 2027 big game in LA, plus a year's supply of pork rinds. Grab the perfect low-carb snack and be your own Pork Rind Appreciation Day hero today at PorkRinds.com.
George gets justice. You've heard the national lawyer ads. Same story, different name. But when you've been through something traumatic in San Antonio, you need a local team who fights for real results. That's why so many get George at George Salinas Injury Lawyers. George is from here, listens to people, and fights to help them get their maximum compensation. Call 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com. Principal Office, San Antonio.
Free products and services are the best. They're next to non-existent, though. But the next best thing does exist. Barter. Alamo Barter. Right here in San Antonio, if you have a business and provide a product or service, you can barter with hundreds of other businesses that are already members. From trips to a medical visit, restaurants and home services, Alamo Barter is a great way for you to trade out your skills with others. Call Alamo Barter or visit them online at alamobarter.com. alamobarter.com.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new break you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-1073. 800-499-1073. 800-499-1073.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, we have a new Super Bowl champion. We'll talk about the big game, and NBA season officially starts. So we'll get into that as well. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds.
Well, we've only got a couple more days to wait for the big game. Hope everybody's got some plans on how they're going to enjoy the Super Bowl on Sunday. Hopefully it's a good game. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. Seattle taking on New England. And Jason Minnick's out in San Francisco. I'm Joe Reinagle. And Jason, our poll up on our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page reveals to me that we've got a lot of confused people because as it stands right now, 85% of the voters like the Seahawks.
Well, and I'm one of those, although I'll go vote in the poll, so I will add it to that. It is interesting, though, because that's kind of about how it feels, even here, when you're talking to people that are from Boston, or the Northeast. I mean, most of America is rooting for Seattle, although I will say, either the schedule or people that just haven't been paying attention to how good New England really is. And I say that I might have changed my mind a little bit on how good this New England team is with last night's MVP vote, Joe. I am not surprised Matthew Stafford won. I thought it'd be in a blowout. I thought it'd be a runaway. As close as Drake May came to winning that thing is shocking. And who the hell voted for Justin Herbert with the first place vote? I digress. But
his mother.
I was stunned that she doesn't get a vote. I was stunned that Drake May was that close to winning that thing. I was stunned that it was that close of a vote.
Well, I was stunned that it was that close too, all transparency. But look, Drake May had a great season this year. And people can say what they will about the schedule and everything else, but the guy played extremely well. He played high-level football. Hasn't done that in the playoffs thus far, but I'm glad Matthew Stafford won it. I really am, because I thought that Stafford had a tremendous year against some pretty good competition. And I mean, this last game in the NFC Championship game was sensational, as was Sam Darnold's, but still, Matthew Stafford deserved that. I'm glad he got it, and I think that cemented his place in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, winning that award last night.
And, of course, he did say last night he will come back for another year. So he's
happy about that.
A long time before he's going to be in the Hall of Fame and or at least be on the ballot. We'll get into the awards coming up, because I think one of the bigger headlines last night, besides all the Hall of Fame stuff, was the Cowboys aren't going to Mexico City. Jerry isn't getting his wish to play in Mexico City. They're sending that guy and his team as far away as possible. They're going to go play in Brazil. The Cowboys got the Brazil game. That was a shocking development.
And that kicks off the NFL season, correct? That's the first game of the NFL season. And look, they haven't named an opponent yet. It's going to be interesting to see who that opponent is. But that's good. The Cowboys need to. And I just learned that they haven't played a game out of the United States since 2014. So it's been a little while since they've been out of the country.
Well, it's there's a lot of politics involved in that, and Jerry Jones has refused to give up a home date to go play an international game. Well, nobody else wants to give up a home date with the Dallas Cowboys to take one of their home games overseas because the Cowboys are such a draw. And that is one of the reasons why the Cowboys are the one team that's kind of been, all right, we know what the rules are, but we're just going to look the other way. And now the commissioner has said, nope, you guys are going to have to go, and you're giving up one of your home dates. So the Cowboys will be the home team over in Brazil. I know Jerry can't be happy about that. We've heard him talk enough about it, even though he did talk last night about having to go play in Rio.
We have so many great fans, NFL does, and we have great fans. I've been for years had business in Brazil, and I know what great football fans they can be for not only the Dallas Cowboys, but the NFL. We're excited about going.
Well, he seems excited about going, Jason. I don't know. I mean, what's he going to say? I mean, seriously.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. What's he going to say? And you got to do it. And I think about like last year, didn't they play that game on a Friday?
It is a Friday, and I misspoke. It's not the first game of the season. It's the first game. Well, it's a Friday night game after that kickoff on Thursday night. So
yeah, so it'll be a Thursday night game, a Friday night game. It means I'm going to get an early high school season bye. All right. There's some positives. I know. I mean, but you look at it a little surprising that they're going. And Dak Prescott, of course, he said all the things that you would expect him to say about having to go play in Brazil.
It'll be super exciting. First time playing an international game for me. Just getting out of the country, being able to take the Cowboys and go with the Cowboys across the world is something that you dream about when you see these international games. And so excited to play in front of the fans in Brazil.
I think Dak Prescott would play anywhere and be excited about playing. And so for him, it doesn't matter. It's a football game. It opens the season. And hopefully this team is excited about getting back on the field because of the changes and the upgrades that they made in the offseason. That's by the time we get to Brazil on that Friday night, we're going to know exactly what Jerry was able to do or did, how much money he spent, and all of those things.
Well, and that's the question, kind of like talking about it with Emmitt Smith earlier. Will the Cowboys just have a quiet offseason and get business done? And I mean, the idea, and Jerry talked last night about the extension for George Pickens.
They sure can, and we think the world of George. He couldn't be a better part of the future of our team, so we're going to be working on that.
Well, Jerry didn't commit to it. And he said it can. So no commitment from Jerry Jones just yet, although they're working on it, which tells me we don't know.
I mean, that's it. Now, granted, he did talk last night with some of the writers about the ability to be able to sign a George Pickens as one of the reasons why they ultimately didn't do the Micah Parsons thing last year. Now, we've heard Jerry, say stuff like that, the word salad about this and that, depending on the player, moving the year. It's all about building for the future and their 5-year plan. But see, Jerry gets ripped last night at the award show. But I think Jerry likes it when they're talking about him like this.
Jerry Jones is here. My co-star, Jerry Jones, I actually acted in a scene with Jerry on the show Landman. He was phenomenal. Incredible performance, way more convincing than when he said it was a good idea to trade Micah Parsons. Micah's here also tonight. He consulted on that joke, so thank you, Micah. Well done, sir.
Yeah, look, Jerry loves that stuff, and that I didn't see that live, but I like everybody. He ripped Jerry Jones. He didn't rip Jerry Jones, for goodness sake. And Jerry doesn't give a damn, quite frankly.
So I mean, that's the Jerry. I mean, the fact that Jerry made the monologue and he doesn't mind being the butt of a joke, and all this stuff. I mean, I get it, right? But it would be nice for them to, March rolls around. George Pickens, here's your contract. You're going to be a Cowboy for life. And it's interesting because we know Dak has talked about wanting him. CeeDee Lamb has talked about wanting him. Did that on this show earlier this week. What Michael Irvin told us when he was on the Blitz yesterday, which was phenomenal, even listening to Emmitt there. But, Emmitt is the one that had a little bit of hesitation. 1 year in a contract year. Has he learned how to be a pro? I think Emmitt was also reminding us about some of those plays that he took off and, what happened in Las Vegas. Is he ready to be a pro and making that kind of money?
That's exactly right. And I'm really happy to hear Michael Irvin talking about Micah Parsons yesterday and Emmitt today talking about George Pickens. That is a concern. And I know Cowboy fans just see George Pickens and the plays that he made, and they don't think about anything else. You've got to determine whether this guy is worth the risk or not. And that's obviously something Jerry's going to have to do. And it may come down to he signs him and you just hope for the best. But these guys that played and have seen guys throw temper tantrums or not be invested in the team the way they should be, they know what they're talking about. And so I love the fact that Emmitt Smith said that he's got to grow up. He's got to learn how to be a pro. And it's hard to argue with Emmitt Smith when it comes to that.
Well, and again, you go back and you look at and think about in a contract year. Now, a year ago, when you were thinking about, well, Mike Tomlin's getting rid of this guy, that's a problem. And up until George Pickens, a receiver that got fired, if you will, by Mike Tomlin, they didn't have success the next place they went. George Pickens did. George Pickens also played with the best quarterback that he's ever played with. He had a guy like CeeDee Lamb on the other side. Emmitt kept pointing out what Javonte Williams did. No surprise, the NFL's all-time leader rusher is like, dude, it started with the run game. But Pickens, for the most part, seemed on the outside good. Inside, we'll see. Jerry's got to figure out, though, the defense first. And if they don't spend those draft picks on defensive players, if they don't do something in free agency, early in free agency, will they get back? I mean, we can talk about them getting back soon. I mean, I was surprised. I don't know if you were. As many times as we talked to Emmitt Smith at these deals, that he thinks they could actually get back this quickly, that they are that close. What do you say, within 2 years, if they do some of the right things over the next off seasons?
Well, you've got two great examples in the Super Bowl this year. Seattle revamping and coming back, and look at New England. Nobody expected New England to be here, but they went out, spent some money. They hired a coach who is top-notch, and both of these teams are great examples of what you can do when you're willing to spend some money, when you're willing to go out and find the players that you need that are going to make you better. And until Jerry does that, it's going to be a while. You've got to take the example of the teams that are here this year and move forward with that. And I think just from what we've seen thus far with the coaching hire of Christian Parker, allowing Schottenheimer to take more of a lead role in that, I think we're seeing a different Jerry Jones. Now, time will tell if he breaks out the pocketbook and goes free agent hunting. But at least so far, he's doing things a little bit differently.
And I got to believe, I mean, and I hope it continues, but you're right. He's doing things a little differently. For 30 years, it hasn't worked. All right. Brian Schottenheimer seems to have more influence than some of the past head coaches. And I think it's obvious. And when you talk to people in the organization or without, there's some Cowboys personnel here in San Francisco. And it's like, yeah, it is different. And, maybe Schottenheimer was much more qualified for the head coaching job than most of us thought he was when Jerry gave it to him. Remember, I mean, it was like, well, here's another puppet for Jerry. Nobody else wanted this guy to be the head coach. Well, maybe Brian Schottenheimer is the right guy. And I think last year he proved it. They should have been in the playoffs. Go fix the defense. Christian Parker, a very unlike Jerry Hire. So let's do free agency very unlike what they've done the last several years.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see if Jerry does that. And well, it all starts with George Pickens, and we'll see what he does there. And, of course, the draft. What are they going to do in the draft? Hopefully concentrate on that defense. You mentioned the NFL honors last night, and Matthew Stafford, we talked about that, wins the NFL MVP. Close vote. They said the closest vote since 2003. But there were some other awards handed out last night as well. We'll talk about that. Plus, we've got a brand new Hall of Fame class in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We'll talk about them and kind of the stain that is on the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We're doing all of that when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know, it is our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage out here in San Francisco. And as the weekend is here, none of you plan on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people for all kinds of reasons, whether it's the big game on Sunday and all the parties or rodeo season around the corner. You want to keep the number handy just in case. 210-225-2121. You can also text the word bail to 474747 or start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com, because if you get arrested, you know you're going to want to get out of jail fast. And the best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail. A lot of reasons for that. You don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They are discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. So if you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
Our AA Best Bail Bonds radio row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. More behind-the-scenes access is coming up next on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. It's 94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Big Game Giveaway. Predict the exact score of the big game in Santa Clara, California, and you could score $50,000. Make your predictions now at sasportstar.com. The 50K Big Game Giveaway, brought to you by Dietz Tractor. Score big with Dietz Tractor in Seguin and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
I remember brushing my hair and looking down and thinking, oh my gosh, do I have any hair left?
I used to look at women with thick, beautiful hair and think, why doesn't my hair look like that?
My thinning hair is making me feel so old.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. With clinically proven ingredients like apple extract, biotin, and millet, Hair Volume nourishes your hair follicles to promote thicker, healthier-looking hair. Say goodbye to shedding, thin, and dull hair, and hello to thick, healthy hair with Hair Volume.
Since taking Hair Volume, the shedding has all but stopped.
Now, instead of being jealous of other women's hair, I have friends who are jealous of mine.
My hairdresser couldn't believe the difference in my hair. Now she's using Hair Volume too.
Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com, or find Hair Volume in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
Jane Dawson did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With the money she saved, she got herself a pricey bird feeder with an ultra-high-def camera. Should Jane have just bought a regular bird feeder? Yes. Is it hard for her to admire nature when the camera doubles as the bird's potty? Also, yes. But it's Jane's savings, and if she wants to spend her time watching the digestive habits of the white-breasted nuthatch, we say you go, girl. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is back. Monday, March 30th at the Golf Club of Texas. Get your slot now. $150 per person or $500 per foursome. The Spring Golf Classic, benefiting fitting animals at no-kill shelters across Texas, is presented by Flight by Yingling, sponsored in part by Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, and Ancira.com. The Spring Golf Classic, Monday, March 30th. Sign up now at sasportstar.com. Our AA Best Bail Bonds radio row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern.
Excited, that's for sure. Game a couple of days away. New England, Seattle, the Super Bowl this year. Will it be a good game? Will it be a blowout? I've heard mostly blowout. And Jason Minix, who was out in San Francisco, I'm Joe Reinagle here in San Antonio. You know what pushed me feeling really good today? I just happened to be tuning into the Morning Huddle, and I heard A.J. Hoffman say it's going to be a blowout.
Okay.
I heard Rob Thompson agree with him. And if those two guys like Seattle, I just might take out a second mortgage and put it on New England.
I mean, I'm going to wait till we talk with Doug Kazerian coming up about 4:30 San Antonio time. I don't know about a second mortgage. Can I ask you a question, though?
Of course.
How was Rob this morning on the Morning Huddle?
He seemed okay. I didn't see his face. I wasn't watching on YouTube, but I was in the car coming home from the gym and listening to those guys. Hey, he sounded fine. Was he a little toasty last night or what?
I will say last night was the first night Rob Thompson went full I'm in Super Bowl City mode. And we were at the cigar party, and it was one of the better cigar parties. It's been by far the best event in San Francisco. So far, everything at this Super Bowl has been bottom list from all the Super Bowl experiences. Last night's cigar party was over the top. And my God, so much fun. We did not get home until about 1 a.m. Rob gets up at 2:30. Rob was debating whether or not he was going to do an all-nighter. I went to bed. I had no idea. Rob got home from his show today as I was getting ready. And dude walks in the house about 8:30 San Francisco time. And then starts making a couple of frozen pizzas. And I'm like, dude, it's 8:30 in the morning. He's like, yeah, for you it is. For me, it's not. But I give Rob a lot of credit, man, because he didn't get any sleep last night. I can tell you that.
Well, and it's funny. Pledge just pointed out to me that this morning on the Morning Huddle, Rob gave what you guys are doing, your whole experience there this year, a C. You agree with a C, or would you grade it a little higher than that?
I would maybe even a C minus. Now, I mean, because honestly, and again, I don't want to sound like I'm bitching. I'm lucky to be out here on Super Bowl Radio Row, and it is a lot of fun. And if you had never done this before, you'd be giving it an A. It is great. Well, I've got 18 years of experience doing this, so I know what so many have been like. And so, it's like you get a steak somewhere, all steaks are good, but some are better than others. This year, San Francisco does not feel like a Super Bowl city. And even Los Angeles, you got the Los Angeles, and everywhere you went, it was all about the Super Bowl. Here, outside of this little area, you don't know that it's going on. San Antonio does an event from the airport on. This city has not done that. The media party was a total waste of time. The dinner Wednesday night was great, but it is one of those in the building and some of the stuff. In fact, I mean, the fan experience is 3 blocks from here. I haven't been over there yet, and I've heard that it's a kind of a bleep show over there for that as well.
Well, that's too bad. That really is too bad, and I don't know if that affects San Francisco in the future or not. It's already going back to Los Angeles next year. Hell, it was just in Los Angeles, 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
Los Angeles has two teams. It was the Rams as the host last time, and this time it's, I think, going to be the Chargers and the Rams.
That's BS. They just like Los Angeles. That's all.
Well, it's true. Well, that's true. They like Los Angeles, but when they built SoFi Stadium, so the Rams got one, because when you build a stadium, it comes with the deal unless your ass is in Buffalo and you don't put a roof on the thing. And then when the Chargers moved, they were going to get to host a Super Bowl. So that's why it's so close to the deal. What we're already hearing, though, our friends over at SiriusXM talking about, because the Olympics, the construction around that convention center is still going to be going on. So they're scrambling on how they're going to fit everything in at next year's Super Bowl in Los Angeles.
Wow. Okay, well, that could be a problem, that's for sure. We'll have to wait and see. But L.A. was a good one. I know Arizona, Phoenix was a good one. There's been some. New Orleans was good. I'll even give New Orleans credit for that. They know what they're doing when it comes to events like that. I have to give them the credit that they deserve. We got to give the credit that all these folks deserve, Jason. We talked about Matthew Stafford winning the big prize last night, the MVP. Mike Vrabel gets your Coach of the Year award. What do you think about that?
I'm not surprised. I mean, we talked about that quite a bit. There are some other – I mean, all of them worthy. Mike Vrabel's got his team in a Super Bowl, and what he did in 1 year after getting fired from Tennessee, although from what I understand, I didn't see it live, but did they not mispronounce the dude's name when they announced the award?
There were a lot of mispronounced names last night. Smith in Jigba was mispronounced, and it sounded like a bad word. Yeah, there was a lot of that going on last night, and that's too bad, because if you're a presenter or somebody that's on that podium, you got to know how to say names. I mean, we're a bunch of goofballs on the radio, and we mispronounce names, but I mean, if you're in front of a live audience like that on a big night like that in the NFL, I mean, come on. Do your homework, practice, and know how to say these guys' names.
When, you hire a bunch of people to do that maybe not be the biggest sports fans, you're going to have that. So that was a little surprising. And again, we were at the cigar party last night, cool venue in San Francisco, and it was, people were just joking about it just because they put the clips on social media right away. And it's like, we weren't necessarily sober. And then we were like, well, is that real or is that AI? Because it almost sounded some of it like it was AI.
Well, it's interesting. I didn't see any of it either, truth be told. I was watching the Spurs game. But, look, I saw the clips this morning, and it's to me, that's just bad. If you're going to be a presenter, you got to know how to say their names. Got a little bit of breaking news here, Jason. Adam Schefter is reporting that Cliff Kingsbury is joining the Rams coaching staff. Now, it doesn't say what he's going to coach, but that he's joining the Rams coaching staff. Cliff Kingsbury.
Interesting. And guess you got to have a job, right?
I guess. Isn't he still making money from Arizona?
And Washington.
Yeah.
And I'm a little surprised by that, although I could see Cliff with a nice house in Manhattan Beach. That would make sense.
Yeah, Kingsbury in L.A., man. You think the women are celebrating.
Yeah, exactly. That poor dude.
Yeah, that poor guy.
It's so tough for Cliff Kingsbury. It's hard for him today.
Yeah, I feel sorry
for him, guys.
Yes, I do. Horrible. Horrible. That's the breaking day. Again, it doesn't say what he's going to coach. And obviously, McVay there calls the plays offensively. So I don't know what he's going to do. Maybe a quarterback's coach. Who knows? Although Stafford could be a quarterback's coach. I'm not sure. We'll find out, though. I'm sure. Good for Cliff Kingsbury. He's got a job, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, the offensive consulting type of deal, however that's going to work, and just kind of go from there. Of the awards, though, last night at NFL Honors, obviously Stafford wins MVP. Dak Prescott takes another loss because the comeback player of the year goes to Christian McCaffrey.
Here we go. He was actually third in that regard.
Well, and again, that's kind of the award nobody wants, because that means something tragic happened the year before. But, for McCaffrey to be up for 3 awards, and that's the one that he wins. But no real surprises to me. And then, of course, you get the Hall of Fame. And if we didn't have all this crap going on with the Hall of Fame with Belichick and Kraft, I would still be angry that Darren Woodson did not get in. And I guess I knew Darren Woodson wasn't going to get in, because when he was here yesterday and he was on the show Wednesday and he was around Radio Row Thursday morning with his luggage. So, one of his people were carrying his luggage. So, dude, you're getting on a plane, getting out of here. That tells me you're not getting in, right? Drew Brees, sure. Larry Fitzgerald, Kuechly, Vinatieri, and Roger Craig is kind of like Darren Woodson, although it's taken him longer. I'm not mad at the class. I just hope these guys get celebrated without always having to, but with Bill Belichick not getting in.
Well, isn't it Roger Craig, though, that really has to deal with that more so than the other 4, because he's in that group, is he not? But Roger Craig is deserving. I mean, I don't fault him for that at all. It's just that with such a resume that Bill Belichick has, it's hard to justify.
Well, it is. And again, as I feel bad for Darren Woodson not being a Hall of Famer yet, and he's got 1 more year of eligibility before he then gets kicked over to the senior deal. Roger Craig wasn't already in, and that's kind of surprising. And you look at how they do those seniors, and, like we talked with Shereen Williams earlier in the week, obviously they've got 3 senior candidates that they can vote on, one coach, and 1 contributor. And you can vote for 3, the voters can, and you've got to get 40 of the 50 votes, 80%. She thought, knowing that Belichick wasn't going to get in because it was leaked out, and knowing that Kraft wasn't getting in, that maybe 2 players would. And so with only 1 player from that group of 5 getting in, it'd be very interesting to see if they release the votes, and if they have, I haven't seen it, of how close everybody was, because clearly there were a lot of split ballots. And it'd be interesting, did Belichick get 37 or 38 or even 39, and some of these others, how close were they with the way they have the voting system kind of split up?
Well, it's interesting that you say that, and people are still pissed off about this thing, because Jimmy Johnson, I was on with Rich Eisen earlier, and they're talking about a boycott of Canton, some of the Hall of Famers, and that's how bad that it is, and that's why I feel bad for Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald and Kuechly and Adam Vinatieri. It's not their fault that happened. However, they're having to feel the ramifications of that. Now, I don't think there will be a big boycott, but the fact that it's even being talked about is kind of bad.
Well, I could see Jimmy staying true to that in solidarity with coaches. And of the players that are going in, Jimmy doesn't have the connection, I guess, too. I mean, I'm sure they all know each other, but you still want to go there to support those that are going in. And that's where the Hall of Fame needs to do some crisis PR. And, all right, look, clearly you guys think we made a mistake. We own that. But we still have to celebrate those that are going in. And if you're a Hall of Famer, you can be angry with people not getting in, but you still want to embrace the guys that are joining that elite brotherhood.
Well, I guess so, and they should, and I hope they don't end up, there's not a big boycott, because I feel bad for these guys, because all of these guys are deserving to get in. Pledge is trying to make a case for Roger Craig not being in the Hall of Fame. I'm getting the updates on the board up there. It's hard to remember Roger Craig. I thought he was He's a good player back in his day. He's Hall of Famer. We can debate that, I suppose, but certainly not a Drew Brees or a Larry Fitzgerald or a Adam Vinatieri or even a Luke Kuechly. All of those guys, I think, are deserving to be Hall of Famers.
See, but that's the problem with the seniors is you kind of don't remember, or you think they were already in, or you look at their numbers and you look at guys in today's numbers and they don't add up. But for their time, Roger Craig, I don't think there's any doubt. I think that's why he was one of the three. I don't know that there is a debate with a guy like Roger Craig. I always look at it, if I got to think about it, then you're not. Maybe in your mind, he's not a Hall of Famer, but you look at some of is so-and-so a Hall of Famer? Yes, then you're in. If you're debating, which is why Darren Woodson, because of the way he played, but also while he's a safety, he was more of a corner. So he doesn't have some of the numbers that others do, but his impact on the game, my goodness, he's certainly a Hall of Famer.
Without a doubt. And obviously, Jason Witten didn't get in his first time around. He didn't get in. I would assume he will at some point in time, but who knows? And I think that's the problem moving forward. Nobody knows what the Hall of Fame is, how they vote, and what's the criteria, and what they're going to, their human biases should not play a part in how they vote. And I think that's what happened with Bill Belichick.
Well, and that's probably very true and unfortunate. But also, the Hall of Fame years ago, as both Shereen Williams and John McClain explained on the Blitz, changed the rules to make it tougher because a lot of Hall of Famers led by Deion Sanders years ago thought that it was getting too easy to get in. Mm-hmm. And so they changed the rules to make it a little bit tougher, to be a little bit more difficult to get in on a first ballot Hall of Famer. And, and the problem with the rules now, we look at a Jason Witten Hall of Famer. Hell yeah, definitely. Should be a first ballot guy. With the new rules, no. Well, next year, there's going to be other guys that are next year and the year after, and that's why you get guys that get pushed down, and it takes them so long. I mean, when you look at a guy like a Drew Brees, how many times was he eligible? Kuechly, Fitzgerald. It is tough to get in, and it should be. It's the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Absolutely, and that's why I hate that there's a stain on this year's class, and that's unfortunate. By the way, on our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page, you remember Michelle Smallman yesterday used the word caterwauling.
Yeah.
It's being used on our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page. So people
pay attention.
Yeah, people learned a thing or two and weren't just distracted by Smallman's looks. That's impressive. Mm-hmm. It certainly is. Mm-hmm. Hey, we do have a poll up on our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page, Jason. Who will win the Super Bowl? Seattle, New England? Right now, 82% of the votes say Seattle. So it's a runaway. So all you Patriot fans, go to our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page and make those numbers look a little closer. I can only vote once. You got to come on and help me out here because all of you know deep down inside, New England's going to win this thing. It's just you hate New England. You hate New England. That's all it is.
Stop.
Well, Jason, you didn't watch the Pro Bowl, did you?
No.
And nobody else did apparently either. They're using the term disastrous viewership for the Pro Bowl. We'll talk about that and a lot more when we continue live from San Francisco and San Antonio here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
And as we are on this Friday with the big game coming up on a Sunday, you want to do more than just vote in our poll on who's going to win. How about trying to make a little money? You can do that. Get in on all the action. Make picks, win money in Texas on Underdog. Not on Underdog yet? Great. Sign up now. New customers score $75 in fantasy bonus entries when you make your first $5 fantasy entry. And playing on Underdog is easy. Just head over to the app, make picks on if a player is going to go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receiving yards, passing yards, touchdowns, kicking points. I keep watching Drake May. Every day I'm opening the app because they got new promos dropping every day, so I'm seeing what I can take advantage of. And I like Drake May so close in the MVP voting. How close is he going to be on the passing yardage prediction for him? Will you go higher or lower? And especially with Drake May, I'm looking at rushing yards. Sam Darnold, his passing yards. Walker and his rushing yards. JSN and receiving yards. Get all your picks right. You can win up to 5,000 times your cash. You like making picks and winning money? Underdog is the place to be for the big game. Download the Underdog app right now. Use promo code STAR to score $75 in fantasy bonus entries when you play your first $5 on fantasy. Promo code STAR at Underdog. Make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus and present in Texas. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Our AA Best Bail Bonds radio row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. More wall-to-wall coverage leading up to Sunday's big game continues next on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Riding I-10 with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com.
It's Pork Rind Appreciation Day at PorkRinds.com. Hall of Famer Devin Hester and PorkRinds.com are lining up to be the heroes for the Gridiron Greats Assistance Fund. Pork rinds are the MVP of the snack aisle. Low-carb, gluten-free, and packed with protein. Don't settle for ordinary on game day. Visit PorkRinds.com to enter for a chance to win a 2027 Big Game travel package and a year's supply of rinds. Support a great cause and find your favorite rinds at PorkRinds.com. Pork Rind Appreciation Day, the crunchiest day in football.
Score big with LS Tractors at Dietz Tractor in Seguin, the MVPs of the field. LS Tractors, the star quarterbacks of farming, perfect for tough tasks for farm, ranch, and landscaping. Dietz Tractors has your all-star coaching staff for top-notch equipment. They're not just selling tractors, they're building lasting relationships with unmatched dealer support for parts and maintenance. It's a winning strategy that goes beyond the final whistle. Don't miss the game-winning move. 0% financing available with approved credit on LS Tractors. Start blue, stay blue at Dietz Tractor in Seguin.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-553-7217 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-553-7217. That's 800-553-7217. What do you have to lose? Call 800-553-7217. Again, 800-553-7217.
Hi, I'm Chef Franklin Becker. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Dallas Cowboys will be heading international this year. They're not going to Mexico City as it was suspected. Instead, they're going to be South America's team as they head to Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. It's going to be the Cowboys' first international game in 12 seasons. They played the Jags back in 2014 in London. And, of course, the big game is this Sunday. NFL season comes to a close. You can hear it right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Live from San Francisco, it's The Blitz, broadcasting from AA Best Bell Bonds Radio Row ahead of Sunday's game. Here's Jason Minix and Joe Reinagel on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
On a Friday afternoon, that's right, we made it. It is Friday. The weekend is in sight, and of course that means the Super Bowl is in sight on Sunday. Looking forward to that, but we got a little work to do before we can get to that point in time. I'm Joe Reinagel here in San Antonio. Jason Minix is out in San Francisco, and having a good time. And everybody's saying, Jason, if you would look over your left shoulder, you'd be impressed.
Trust me.
All right, I'm just saying. People trying to help you out, that's all.
Been there all week. All week. And every day, same length, different color.
I got you. Okay. All right. Well, it helps the view because looking at you for 4 hours, you got to have a distraction.
Does that help?
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. Now, I got to tell you, can we get a little breaking news? For the first time this week on Radio Row, I am not going to have wings for lunch. I am winged out. But for the first time, they have something else to eat. You remember I think it started in Phoenix, that Ike Sandwich Place? Ike Sandwich Place, he just showed up, and he's got he's working with Marshawn Lynch. I've got a Beast Mode barbecue fried chicken sandwich. I'm very excited about this.
Wow.
Very, very excited.
Very nice.
Very, very excited because I don't want to see wings for 2 weeks. I can tell you that, and I think about Sunday, my wife asked me earlier, does she need to go by and get anything for me to grill? And I just checked into my flight as late as I get home on a Saturday night. No, I don't think I'm going to fire up the grill on Sunday since we're not having a party. I think I'm just going to order that rib pack from Smoky Mo's Barbecue because they've got the St. Louis style ribs and the sides. I think I will have ribs on Sunday. I don't think I'm going to do them. I think Smoky Mo's Barbecue is going to do them.
Well, I think that's probably the way to do it. I mean, why slave over the grill? Just let Smoky Mo's get it done for you. That's the way to do it. I think that's a great idea, Jim.
Well, it is a great idea, and I think I know because I'm about to put in my order for it. So you guys could do the same, make Sunday a little easier because after last night and what I know we have planned for tonight, I'm going to be dead to the world by the time I get back because tonight, we've got the EA party, the country music, whatever changed, whoever the lead singer, I forgot who the headliner is, but Michael Irvin's people are trying to get us into the Green Day deal. So I think we might end up over there, which will be a lot of fun. The goal tonight is to get back to the house, pack, and go to the airport.
That's a pretty good goal, and that's what you should do on a Friday night after a long Radio Row when you're out on the road like that. There's nothing wrong with that. What time is the flight, by the way?
I just checked in, 12:55.
Oh, come on, piece of cake.
What do you mean,
piece of cake? Come on,
piece of cake.
You should not only, just stay drunk, just keep drinking, and you'll be just fine.
I think that's what I said.
Well, maybe it is. I don't know. I'm distracted, Minix. I'm distracted. I'm not listening to you.
Well, yeah. That's over my left shoulder. You should see what's straight in front of me right now.
Well, I'm not sure that, and I'll be totally honest with you. I finally got a profile. Maybe it's not as good as we thought.
Well, parts of it.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Huh.
Well, let's do the headline blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Brought to you by Novo Brazil Brewery in North Star Mall. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
It is time for the Headline Blitz, brought to you by Novo Brazil Brewery. They're at North Star Mall, where the Blitz is going to be broadcasting live next Wednesday. And we'll have fun there. I'm going to guess that, even over there, they weren't watching the Pro Bowl because apparently nobody did.
No, nobody did. In fact, the headline, Pro Bowl game draws disastrous viewership. And that should tell you all you need to know. And it goes on, if you read the story, it's that maybe this is the final thing that will push the NFL over the edge and just forget about this complete circus. We talked to CeeDee Lamb, and he said he had a great time. But if nobody's watching this thing, who's going to carry it? And it should just go away. How about that?
Well, it's interesting because CeeDee Lamb made me rethink my thoughts on the Pro Bowl, because he said the dudes had fun with it and they got to have fun. And if they're being celebrated in that way, now granted, Shedeur Sanders was a Pro Bowl quarterback and will always have that now on his Wikipedia page. But the players enjoy it, and if it's a reward for the players, then all right, cool. If people want to tune in and watch, let them. But it's all about revenue. What can make money? And it's not. Kyle Rudolph, many times in the Pro Bowl as a tight end, said it changed when they stopped going to Hawaii, because it was about going to Hawaii and getting to hang out with everybody, and you put on a game. It's like the All-Star game coming up next week. All fans complain about All-Star games because they suck. We want to watch a game, and the players don't want to get hurt, but they want to have fun. So it is kind of interesting when you think about what they can do. But, moving it to a Tuesday certainly wasn't the answer. And they thought maybe if it's on a Tuesday during Super Bowl week, it would be more interesting. But obviously not.
Well, as much fun as I watched a little bit of it, and the players did have fun. They were making it a fun event. But if nobody's watching, then ESPN's not going to cover it. Why would they? It's just a waste of time. So I don't know what you do, and I understand it's an honor to be named a Pro Bowler, and unless your name is Shedeur Sanders, although I guess it's an honor for him, but that's kind of like Bronny James being named an All-Star, for God's sake.
Bronny has earned it.
I think the difference is, although like for Bronny being named an NBA All-Star, you make an All-NBA team. Pro Bowls are one thing. You ask any player, it's those that get voted All-Pro. That's where the players' respect is, not making the Pro Bowl, because so many people decline Pro Bowl invitations, and nobody that's playing in the Super Bowl can play in the Pro Bowl. So players look at All-Pro. CeeDee said he had fun. I don't know, but you're right. If nobody's watching, then advertisers aren't going to support it, which means it will go away.
It will go away, and maybe this is the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. Who knows? Do you order honey products for energy?
For energy?
For energy,
No.
Energy support. Apparently, honey helps with that. Well, one company, Jason, not only sent you honey, but they sent you something for a little energy for your wiener.
It's a sticky subject there, Joe.
Yeah, well, it is, yes.
So it's not like your regular honey that you would put in your hot tea, or, if you're making ribs and you use honey and brown sugar and butter. This is an energy product that had a little something extra in it.
Yeah, whatever is in, I don't know, Viagra or Cialis or one of those that help you, you know what I mean. And apparently the company didn't know, or they knew and they just let it go. But well, they kind of shut them down. The FDA did, because you can't do that.
Biscuit eater. I mean, why would they do that?
Because they just get gooey and sticky and stick all over everything. Exactly.
Well, that's the goal, isn't it?
Well, I don't know, but apparently this had that in there, and people that were ordering this product didn't know that. So I don't know if guys all of a sudden said, "Hey, wakey, here we go."
Well, who complained?
I don't know.
Who complained?
Well, I guess the problem is
there's no problem here.
Well, those ED medications can raise your blood pressure, and I guess if you don't know that it's in there and you got high blood pressure already, there could be some issues there. So
yeah,
that's why they did it.
It kills you, but you got to smile. Is it all that bad?
Well, this is true, I suppose. At least. Hopefully nothing happens until after you're finished. Interesting story, though. I thought that was, It's funny, the headline of that story, Jason, is honey product recalled nationwide due to an undeclared boner pill ingredient. And I'm like,
can they sell the honey product if they declare that it will help you with other areas?
I would assume that's the case, but that's why the FDA got pissed, because they didn't declare that.
Boy, that hooker just lifts me every day.
I could see a marketing campaign now for this. I mean, they had the ingredient. They didn't tell people, so they didn't declare it, but it's a honey product. Hey, honey, time for the honey. I could see that.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, the FDA didn't see it that way, and they had to take the product down.
Debbie Downers.
Exactly. No more ups for you. That's the way that it goes. Hey, the Spurs, I know you didn't see it. You're out partying all night last night, but the Spurs in Dallas, and they struggled a little bit until they didn't. And there was absolutely no defense in this game whatsoever. Let's talk about it. We'll hear from Wemby as well when we return here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Our AA Best Bail Bonds radio row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. More wall-to-wall coverage leading up to Sunday's big game continues next on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. It's 94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars $50K Big Game Giveaway. Predict the exact score of the big game in Santa Clara, California, and you could score $50,000. Make your predictions now at sasportstar.com. The $50K Big Game Giveaway, brought to you by Dietz Tractor. Score big with Dietz Tractor in Seguin and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
The Headline Blitz is brought to you by Novo Brazil Brewing Company, San Antonio's newest sports watching destination with over 60 feet of LED video walls and 80 craft beers and kombucha on tap. Novo is attached to North Star Mall and open late hours to serve you. If you haven't checked out the new Novo Brazil Brewing Company attached to North Star Mall, what are you waiting for? We're talking craft beers and kombucha on tap, a handcrafted food menu, 8 massive LED screens. This is San Antonio's newest sports watching destination. It's Novo Brazil Brewing Company's first Texas location and is conveniently attached to North Star Mall and open late hours to serve you. Fresh Novo Poke Nachos, Picanha Prime Sirloin, burgers, and more. Novo Brazil Brewing Company. Go to novobrew.com. That's novobrew.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price to have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. Order Smoky Mo's Texas Barbecue for your big game watch party. For a limited time, the rib pack is available just for the big game with 3 pounds of mouth-watering ribs and home-style sides of your choice. Feed your crowd with game day favorites. For 26 years, Smoky Mo's has created craft-level barbecue with great neighborhood value. Smoky Mo's is great Texas barbecue served fast and friendly with 8 convenient locations in San Antonio. Stop by or order Smoky Mo's for pickup or delivery at SmokyMo'sBBQ.com.
This year's tax changes. Better not get caught snoozing. Miss one deduction, lose thousands. Not amusing.
Big tax changes can mean bigger refunds at Jackson Hewitt. And right now, get $100 just to try us.
Don't worry, tax filers. If money is tight, get $100 from Jackson Hewitt, so you'll sleep better at night.
Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
We'll admit, we've already thrown in the towel on the New Year's resolution.
Yeah, and we made it through dry January. But one healthy new habit we're sticking with is Active Liver from New Nordic. Did you know your liver works around the clock processing food, sugar, alcohol, and everyday toxins? All things that can really impact your health.
That's why daily support matters. Active Liver is designed to help protect normal liver function and support your body's natural detox process.
With trusted ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and artichoke extract, it's gentle enough to take all year long.
No harsh cleanses, no extreme detoxes, just simple daily liver support. We really feel the difference.
Yup, more energy and the peace of mind knowing we can enjoy the good things in life while giving our liver the love it needs.
Active Liver is available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com. Or you can find it in stores at CVS, Meijer Grocery, Wegmans, and now Active Liver is available at your local GNC.
What if your instincts could pay off? With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you can put your sports IQ to work on the games you know best. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. Buy or sell your predictions all game long. Trade every play with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is back. Round up your foursome, your work crew, your weekend golf buddies, even the ladies, and get ready for a fun, laid-back day at the Golf Club of Texas. Monday, March 30th. Lock in a team for just $500 for a foursome, or jump in solo for $150 per player and spend the day talking trash, crushing drives, and laughing your way around the course. This isn't a stuffy golf club tournament. It's golf the way it should be. The Spring Golf Classic benefits feeding animals at no-kill shelters across Texas, so you're having a great time for a great cause. Presented by Flight by Yingling and sponsored by Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, and Ancira.com. And when the last putt drops, the day is just getting started. Join us for the after party at the 90 Proof Bar at Lucky Ranch Road and Highway 90. Cold drinks, great food, and all the post-round storytelling you can handle. So pick your team, claim your spot, and tee up with San Antonio's Sports Star. Sign up your foursome now at sasportstar.com. Our AA Best Bail Bonds radio row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds.
All right, back here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagle here in San Antonio. Jason Minix is out in San Francisco and looks like he found a legend.
I did. It's crazy because a streak will continue. Early in the week, I hadn't seen my friend Lee Steinberg. I didn't know if he was coming to this year's Super Bowl. I didn't know. And then ran into him last night at the cigar party, and he's here. You are here. You took a little time to get out to Super Bowl week this year.
Jason, it wouldn't be a Super Bowl if we weren't doing an interview, so I'm happy to be with you.
Absolutely. When you think about how everything has changed over time, and even at your point, I know you still represent a handful of dudes, including some dude named Patrick. But the world in your world has changed so much.
Well, NIL has changed the world of agentry forever because now you have 15-year-olds looking for marketing directors, and then when they go from high school to college, money's become the currency for recruiting, and then you have transfer portals. So when you run a practice that has to do with role modeling and mature athletes who understand they should retrace their roots and care about second career, the prospect of speaking to a 15-year-old and trying to sign him is not something I'm excited about.
Well, Lee, that brings up a good point. We see what's going on in college sports right now with NIL, and I hear rumors that could eventually go to the high school game. Are you hearing that too, and is that around the corner?
Oh, it's already at the high school level. There are the high schools where people are recruiting. My office is across from Hoag Hospital. It's co-sponsoring our party tomorrow, and pretty soon agents will be there at maternity wards looking for healthy mothers.
It is crazy, and obviously coming out of high school, enrolling into college as a freshman, and where they start their college career, we know is not likely where they're going to end up. How soon before we start seeing high school athletes getting NIL money?
They already are.
Yes. Just not in Texas, I guess. Maybe are they doing that in California?
Yes.
Oh, good Lord.
The point is that for a big powerhouse school, high school, they can already do that, and some of them already have money before they ever get to college.
Well, that's incredible, Lee. Do you see any guardrails being placed on? We won't talk high school. Let's talk college, because it seems like, boy, the money it just goes up and up and up and up and up.
I feel a little bit abashed in saying this because I've spent 52 years trying to get athletes more money, but there's no reason that someone who's in their freshman year of college needs $14 million. And originally, this was supposed to add a few more dollars to athletes who were struggling because they came from disadvantaged homes, and it morphed into the Wild Wild West. So yes, I think there'll ultimately be some form of regulation, but who does it? The NCAA has been so irrelevant that what's, I think, ultimately the Big Ten and the SEC will get rid of the NCAA and negotiate TV contracts on their own and their own rules for competitiveness.
Super Agent Lee Steinberg joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. I think about, back in the day when you started getting these mega deals for athletes, you were the guy that kind of started that, and you had a plan and a formula, and everybody else kind of followed suit. Would you be on a committee of trying to figure out how to put some guardrails in, some regulations? Because, even now, you talk to some of these college coaches, and a player's agent is his roommate, not a lawyer, no certification, no idea of why they are coming up with the money, the value chart, if you will, something that you've always used to try to determine what a player is worth.
Well, it has nothing to do with what their actual market value is when they're getting some of these NILs. It's not like they're actually going to turn all that into real commercial value. It's alums from the universities who have businesses and big pocketbooks trying to make their school better.
Lee, let's go back to the NFL, because I've got a question for you. We talked to CeeDee Lamb earlier in the week here on the Blitz, and we're talking about George Pickens and whether the Cowboys are going to sign him to an extension or a new deal or franchise tag him. CeeDee told us that he didn't care. He wouldn't mind if George Pickens made more money than he does. What is your experience with players in that sort of a situation?
That they're inherently competitive with someone they think they're more talented than. And it goes all the way back to, I just saw Thurman Thomas walking around. So when I'm doing his contract, Emmitt Smith is the next one up. And so we got a pretty handsome deal for Thurman, and Emmitt was going to hold out forever until they got more money than Thurman. So there's that. On the other hand, look, take these quarterbacks. The key is, can you get your team to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl? And it means so much for the life of certain players to be on a highly competitive squad that's got depth and great players at different positions. So if you take the longer view, if you're Tom Brady, Patrick, whatever, once you get to that Super Bowl level, it unlocks millions of dollars endorsements, all all sorts of things. It changes your life totally. So if you're a quarterback, do you want the guy to block for you? And CeeDee Lamb, I think, showed maturity in saying if it makes Dallas a better team, then that's going to inure to my benefit.
Well, and again, like a training camp, it was 1A, 1B, but CD, I'm 1A, right? And you could see that, but he also got paid. And the idea next man up is going to top you, you know.
And you got a cap that's going up by $20 million in this next year, and that's going to mean tons of increases. Remember, these explosive contracts are not happening in a vacuum. They're a function of the fact that more TV money is coming in and more gate money is coming in, and there's ancillary revenue sources. So the money's there. All they do is take the money and divvy it up. 53% goes to owners, 47% to players.
Well, it's going to be interesting, Lee, and look, the NFL is as successful as it can be, and it's only getting better and better. And they keep talking about adding a game, an 18th game to the season. What will that do to player salaries? Will that increase those?
I'm more worried. Yes, it would, but I'm more worried about what it does to players' bodies.
Absolutely. And Lee Steinberg, we've been friends for a long, long time, going back to the early 90s. The rise, the fall, the rise again. You've got a new book, The Comeback, forward by Troy Aikman. Tell me about this book.
So this is starts with the fact that I struggled with alcohol about 20 years ago and had to break denial and come back. So it's how in life you deal with financial problems, health problems, addictive problems, marital problems, and your life takes a reverse. Now, how do you rebuild? And it's got stories of Troy Aikman and Warren Moon and Steve Young and Patrick Mahomes and other people. So it's designed to be inspirational to people who are still struggling in their own life and to teach them basic techniques to come back.
Awesome. The book is called The Comeback. Get it wherever you can. I know we weren't on the schedule. Appreciate you stopping by here on Super Bowl Radio.
Schedule. I'm going to put an asterisk to that. You're always on the schedule.
Appreciate you, Lee. Thank you. I know they're saying you got to run. You got one coming up.
Thanks.
Appreciate
Lee.
it. Great. Lee Steinberg here on at 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Such a great dude. All right, we're going to do a photo real quick. Hang on.
Yeah, go do a photo real quick. And look, that's just kind of what you do at Radio Row. I mean, sometimes things pop up. Guys will sit down, and that's the way that it goes. So we appreciate Lee Steinberg. And I tell you what, when I say he's a legend, he's a legend. I mean, he is a super agent, and all the other agents that are out there working right now owe a great deal to one Lee Steinberg. We're going to continue.
Well, think about.
Oh, you got
Lee
your
for a
photo.
moment.
I thought you were gone, Minnick.
No. I mean, it was actually Lee's people wanting a photo with me. That wasn't Erica getting a photo with us.
So you're the celebrity out there. Is that what you're saying?
And that, I don't know. I mean, I hand they're just proving to whoever that they did all these interviews because wasn't on the schedule. But think about for people that don't know the name Lee Steinberg, because there's probably a certain age that might not know the name, which is baffling. The movie about the agent, Jerry Maguire, Show Me the Money. That movie is based off of the life of Lee Steinberg.
Absolutely. So if you've seen that movie, you should be familiar with Lee Steinberg. But again, as I was saying, I mean, all of these agents today, the David Mulligettas, name one, owe everything to Lee Steinberg, who opened things up for all of them to make a lot of money. And so props to Lee Steinberg, that's for sure.
Well, and you think about, Joe, something that I saw yesterday at the party. Drew Rosenhaus, legendary agent, waiting for Lee to finish a conversation with whoever Lee was talking to say hello, shake his hand, and keep moving. I mean, Drew Rosenhaus didn't just cut in, and Lee didn't just stop and, oh, hey, there's Drew. Drew, like waited respectfully until it was, his turn to say hi to Lee.
That's the way it goes. That shows respect. And again, you mentioned it, Patrick Mahomes, that's his agent, Lee Steinberg.
Yep.
So anybody that knows Taylor Swift, you're out there, you don't know Lee Steinberg, there you go. Patrick Mahomes, he's with the super agent, Lee Steinberg. We got to take a break. When we come back, though, speaking of Hall of Fame and Hall of Famers, we're going to have one coming on the show next. Devin Hester. That's right. That Devin Hester will join us next here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, you need your logo on gear, make sure you get into Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro. Rodeo season is here. You need your logo on any kind of gear, especially winter gear. Go see Sam. Whether you own a business, a club, organization, you need that logo on a nice jacket, a half zip, a hoodie. Sam will get you taken care of. You can even put your logo on a beanie if you need it. Speaking of caps, you need caps done, over 25,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations on display in his showroom, including all the popular cap brands like the Richards 112 style trucker caps, in stock Katie caps, Nike Cap America, to name a few. Over 700 uniform lines to choose from. Construction, restaurants, schools, leagues, medical. Go see Sam. He's got all the big name brands. He's the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too big, certainly no order too small. So call Sammy's Embroidery and Printing, 210-824-3900, 824-3900, or go by that massive showroom on San Pedro, 1 mile inside Loop 410, right there across from the McDonald's, or check the website, samsembroidery.com, for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
Our AA Best Bail Bonds radio row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. More wall-to-wall coverage leading up to Sunday's big game continues next on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, we have a new Super Bowl champion. We'll talk about the big game, and NBA season officially starts. So we'll get into that as well. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Flu season has arrived, and according to the CDC, doctors' visits due to flu symptoms are the highest in 30 years. You can trust Exergen's new TAT 2000C Plus to give you accurate and reliable temperature readings for the whole family with just a gentle forehead scan. The Exergen thermometer technology has been proven accurate by more than 100 published clinical studies. And right now, the new Exergen TAT 2000C Plus is available on Amazon for less than $20. That's Exergen, EXERGEN, on Amazon. Visit Amazon.com for Exergen today.
Finding excuses to not do your taxes? Unsure where to start? Sounds like you may be suffering from FOMO, the fear of messing up. The cure? Filing your federal and state taxes for free using TurboTax on Credit Karma. All you have to do is start and finish filing on your own in the Credit Karma app by February 28th. Just keep in mind, this offer is available only if you didn't file with TurboTax last year. It's time to break free from your fear of messing up. Start filing for free today in the Credit Karma app.
Texas is leading America again, and John Lujan is a big reason why. Working side by side with Governor Greg Abbott, Representative John Lujan helped bring high-paying jobs home and strengthen Texas's energy dominance. Now, John Lujan is ready to bring the Trump agenda home to Texas. That means fighting for affordability, higher-paying local jobs, and lower federal taxes for working families. It means defending Texas energy, protecting oil and gas jobs from failed liberal policies, and keeping America #1 in energy production. It means securing our border, making President Trump's border policies permanent, crushing the cartels, stopping fentanyl, and ending human trafficking. And it means rebuilding our military. No social experiments, no distractions, just the strongest, toughest fighting force on earth. Conservative John Lujan is the only candidate endorsed by the San Antonio Express News, Texas Alliance for Life, and Governor Greg Abbott. On March 3rd, vote Republican John Lujan for Congress. Abbott, Trump, Lujan, a tough team for Texas.
Political ad paid for by John Lujan for Congress.
Score big with LS Tractors at Dietz Tractor in Seguin, the MVPs of the field. LS Tractors, the star quarterbacks of farming, perfect for tough tasks for farm, ranch, and landscaping. Dietz Tractors has your all-star coaching staff for top-notch equipment. They're not just selling tractors, they're building lasting relationships with unmatched dealer support for parts and maintenance. It's a winning strategy that goes beyond the final whistle. Don't miss the game-winning move. 0% financing available with approved credit on LS Tractors. Start blue, stay blue at Dietz Tractor in Seguin.
Hormones can affect everything. Bad skin, bad hair, low energy, poor sleep, brain fogginess, libido, and weight gain. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we take a functional approach to your hormone problems. Eating right and exercise will not be beneficial without optimal hormone function. This goes for men and women. We do state-of-the-art testing to get to the root of your hormone issues and help you get well and stay well. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. We can help. 210-468-1891.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Total Wine is your home field advantage for game day. The only place to go for the lowest prices on your go-to lineup of spirits, beers, seltzers, and wines. Tackle game day and every day only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the big game in Silicon Valley. And the only local station bringing you exclusive wall-to-wall coverage from the Bay Area. All brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. We're live from Radio Row with insider interviews, breaking stories, and all the friggin' excitement leading up to the superb Owl. From the biggest names in sports to behind-the-scenes access, we've got it all. Your AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Your front row seat to the backstage action, live from the Bay Area, is 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds.
Back here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagle here in San Antonio. Let's head back out to San Francisco, where Jason Minix is standing by with one of the best in the business in the NFL. That's for sure. Jason.
Absolutely. You think about return specialists, and none better than a Hall of Famer, Devin Hester, joining us with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds Crunch Time hero Mark Singleton at porkrinds.com. You guys making the rounds on Radio Row, but Devin, I gotta start with you, man. You're a Hall of Famer. Where's the coat? Where's the gold jacket?
I had it on all yesterday, man. So it wore me down a little bit.
You didn't spill anything on it, did you?
Yeah, there's some spots on there.
Dude, if I had a gold jacket, I'd use it like a robe. I'd wear it everywhere. I wouldn't leave without it if I had that thing.
Yeah, it's a great honor to have it, but it's tailor-made. So after wearing it for 8 hours straight yesterday, your body needs a little air to breathe.
All right, Devin, before we get into the weeds of the game and all of that kind of stuff, I got to tell you, man, I'm a big fan of yours, but I'm a bigger fan when I see this. Your birthday's November 4th.
Most definitely.
So's mine.
Oh, yeah? You're a Scorpio, huh?
I'm a hell of a lot older than you, but it's the same day.
That's what's up, man.
You never know about that. And he has a gold coat too, but he didn't earn it the way you did.
No, absolutely not.
And and you wearing it all day. What's it like? As you've been coming to Super Bowl weeks for forever, right? I mean, it's part of the gig when you're in the NFL.
Correct.
Then you get into the Hall of Fame, and you got more responsibilities, things that you have to do. What's the week like for a Hall of Famer?
It's almost like triple the attention you get from just playing in the NFL. It's just something about that gold jacket that just speaks highly of an NFL player. It's pretty much the stamp of the greatest of all greats, and from the rookies all the way up to the veteran guys that play 15, 20 years in the league. When you get that jacket, it lets everybody know that you are that guy.
Devin, it's interesting you say that. We had a new class of Hall of Famers announced last night. How is their life about to change? And when you got your gold jacket, could you believe it? I mean, was it just like surreal?
It's very so unreal. When you think about it as a kid growing up, you don't think about making a Hall of Fame. All you think about is going to college and hopefully getting a shot in the NFL. And when you get to that moment where you're playing in the league and then you start doing things that's not normal when it comes to the stats, and then you start rising above your peers, and you're making the Pro Bowl and you're doing plays and your stats just jumping off the charts. That's when the words and the rumors start going around about Hall of Fame potential. And so it's always a blessing when you're able to go to the league and really showcase your talent and really show the world that you're capable of being a Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer Devin Hester with us here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Obviously, last night's class, and you can't argue. I mean, you just look at every name, and that's how I've always been. Hall of Famer, yes or no? If you got to think about it, no, right?
Fact.
All those guys earn it. But there's a little cloud over this Hall of Fame class because we learned more than a week ago that Bill Belichick wasn't going to be in. How is he not a first ballot guy? Robert Kraft not in. How difficult is it as a Hall of Famer to hear the voters being scrutinized the way they are right now?
It's just so much goes into that. And as Hall of Famers, we don't have no control over that. We don't have any say so. So it's not up to us to judge anybody. We don't have an opportunity to judge who are going in the Hall of Fame. So it's a committee, and it has a lot to do with off the field issues and on the field issues as a Hall of Fame, and that's the way we look at guys. You got to have a clean slate. One of the guys that's really not that distracted, but then you got to be able to put it down on the field too. And so when you calculate those two parts of the person, then you figure out he's a Hall of Fame all over.
It's unbelievable, man. A great class, I think, last night, despite the fact of a little bit of controversy. But, Devin, I've got to ask you, you're at the Super Bowl. Obviously, you're on the other side of things, kind of doing Radio Row and doing your thing there. When you look at Seattle and New England, what are those guys feeling right now as we get, just 2 days away from the big game?
It's overwhelming now. I would say, like, the last two right now, everything should be coming down for those guys. I know when I experienced the Super Bowl, I would say like the first 2 days, was kind of just all over the place, trying to figure out what's going on, what I got to do, who we got to interview, where we got to go to meet, things like that. But I would say like the last 2 days, it kind of just slows down, and now you really get ready for football.
We're just kind of locking in, ready to go, game plan, family, parties. I guess the guys in the game, they weren't at any of the great parties that we were at last night or tonight or Saturday night. They're locked in while everybody else is having fun.
They're locked in now.
They're locked in now. Wait, when you're watching, like you think about this matchup, Seattle and New England, what are some of the things that you are going to be watching for on Sunday?
When I look at these two teams, they have two great returners. Both of those guys I have the ability to take it to the distance. And so I'm looking forward to that situation, to seeing who's going to outdo who when it comes to the return game. And then also Seattle, I have so much respect for that guy Smith as a receiver and what he brings to the table, man. And I can't wait to see what he's going to do.
Well, I tell you what, in special teams, Devin, you know this better than anybody, it always makes a difference. There's always something that happens special teams-wise that can turn a game one way or the other. And I would assume you're going to be looking for that on Sunday.
Most definitely. Like I say, these two teams have two great returners, kickoff returner and punt returner. So I'm eager to see who's going to win that battle and who's going to win the field position, because we all know that this game is based on field position, who can flip the field. And right now, when it comes to the flipping the field, the returners have a lot to play a part in that. So in this situation with those two guys at the returning spots, one of them going to win the edge of flipping the field the most.
Devin Hester here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Hall of Famer because you're a returner. You guys are nuts. I mean, to sit back there, everybody's coming at you. Explain the mindset to be a returner. The stones, obviously, that you have to do that job.
Right. It takes a lot to be back there. You kind of have to be a little crazy, I would say that. I have guys that's all pro running backs, all pro receivers, and it's terrified to go back there. And so that position is, they always say it's one of the deadliest positions in the game of football, because sometimes you have no control of how long that ball is in the air. And you have guys coming down. Some guys are free coming down with the guys missing their blocks and a clean shot on you. And whenever you have clean shots like that, those hits, they hurt. And so you just got to be a little nuts. And other than that, you just got to be able to play ball.
But, Devin, you were so good at it. What was your mindset when you were back there getting ready to return a kick or a punt or whatever the case may be? What were you thinking about as you were getting ready to do that?
I love that position. It's a position. Whenever you're good at something, you have to love it. You just can't just go out and do it because you're doing it. And those positions at the return game, I just love return. And so I had the passion for it. I worked at it. I wanted to be the best. I put in the time and the effort to make myself ready for when that obstacles and things like that come about. And it showed on the field.
We think, Devin, with quarterbacks, they work with quarterback gurus. Long snappers work with long snapper gurus, receiver coaches, DB coaches. Is there a return guy? I mean, how do you coach that up? I mean, you either have the courage to do that or you don't.
I think for me as a returner, the only thing I really worked on was catching the ball. I think that right there was a moment in my life where I felt like I mastered catching the ball, mastered reading the flight of the ball, seeing the ball, the way the kickers approach the ball. I would kind of get an idea of where he's trying to kick it. And then from that point on, understanding the ball flight, where the nose is pointing at, if it's turning over, it's hanging, it kind of gave me an idea of where the ball would potentially land. And so for me, I practiced on beating the ball to the spot, and it just made me a better fielder. And from that moment on, the natural instinct just kicked in, and the rest was history.
And I would assume, Devin, once you knew you passed that first line, there was nobody going to catch you, man. If you get past that first line, you're gone.
Most definitely. You can cancel Christmas.
And you did that a lot. We're the Cowboys affiliate. Cavante Turpin has turned into a hell of a returner after a interesting journey to get to the NFL. Who are the return guys that you like?
Like I say, Seattle. Seattle has a great returner. New England Patriots I think they have the best two returners right now in the league right now. And that's why I say this is going to be a showcase between amongst a great returner. I feel like both of them going to have some big impact on the game this week. And I'm just looking to see who's going to benefit the most.
Devin, when you look at that, and I think field position is going to be everything, nobody's given the Patriots a shot in this game, at least the people that we've talked to. But a punt return, a kickoff return, just field position, I mean, that could give New England or Seattle an edge. But how do you read this game? Do you read it as Seattle's going to blow these guys out like most people are thinking?
No, I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a conservative game the first half. They're going to be trying to figure each other out game-wise, strategy-wise, and whoever makes the least amount of mistakes, I think it's going to be the team that's going to capitalize. I know New England is going to come in here and try to play safe and force them to make mistakes. And I think Seattle is the more risky taker team. They're going to try to go out and take shots. And if they can capitalize on them shots, it could get ugly. But I feel like New England will play it safe and try to keep the game close to the end of the game and try to make it a 3-point different game.
So 3 points. So, Joe's back there going, all right, my 4.5. You like that, right? You like New England at 4.5. That's what I'm hearing there.
Like who? New England?
New England, and it has 4.5. Yeah.
I like Seattle to win this.
By
close.
It's going to be a close game.
All right.
It's going to be a close game. Going through a lot of pork rinds on Sunday. Pork rind appreciation day.
Yes.
Yeah, the nervous eating. You get that crunch in there. Mark Singleton with Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds, doing all this great work with Gridiron Greats, teaming up with a Hall of Famer like Devin Hester.
Oh, man, it's been a great week. As you study Devin's career as getting ready for this, I looked and I couldn't find a favorite play. I mean, all of them are my favorite plays. I mean, they miss a field goal and he takes it the lane. I mean, come on.
Yep.
I mean, how do you do that? Some of the touchdowns, I said he is going to get killed. And then he just wasn't there. It was like watching a cartoon. There was a little puff, and he was just gone. And it was so much fun getting ready for this. And I can't wait for this weekend. I mean, the biggest pigskin holiday of the year. And we've got every store full. And there's great recipes out there on porkrunch.com. And, Jason, you can still enter to win today to join us in next year's Super Bowl in L.A. There's still Super Bowl tickets available at porkrunch.com. Enter to win.
Porkrinds.com. And you got that little video game on there. It's very old school, very addicting playing that video game, which gives you more chances to win that thing.
Absolutely. And there's so many great people to help at the Gridiron Greats organization. Karen does a great job. We had the cigar party last night. So many players came together to help these great giants of the game that did not make the big money, that don't have the financial support that Devin and I both think they deserve, and we really appreciate you letting us talk to your listeners.
Absolutely. Porkrinds.com. Enter to win tickets for next year's game in L.A. It's always a great time, and that video game is a lot of fun. Mark, always great seeing you. Great party last night. Devin Hester, dude, put on the jacket, walk around, man. You're a Hall of Famer.
Appreciate you, man.
Good stuff from Devin Hester, man. What an exciting player he was. My goodness, every time he touched the ball, I think he was going to take it to the house. Always, always.
Always. I mean, you never knew, and you kind of hoped. And in some ways, I kind of feel that way with Turpin. Although, we'll see as people are packing up and moving out. I just want you to know, our boys, Paul Catalina and David Smoke, they left early, and their crew. These three guys have about 17 bags they've got to try to carry. This is comical watching them try to pack up all their stuff and leave. I almost want to help, but
no, you don't. You don't want to help.
Almost.
No. I know you better
almost. Than that. This is comical.
Well, hey, that's the way it works, and just being out there and doing this, and you know this as well. But I mean, the week goes by pretty fast. It's a lot of work, a lot of stuff to do, but my goodness, it just flies by. And here it's already Friday, and you're going to have to be packing up yourself here pretty soon.
Yeah, and I'm going to guess Rob Thompson's not going to wake up from his nap and drive or take an Uber all the way down here to help.
I would bet on that as well, my friend. So you're on your own. You're on your own.
I'm on my own. I'm on my own.
You certainly are.
That'll be fine. I mean, there might be some things to get left here, like this broken banner thing. I know it might not make it back. I mean, we'll have to talk to our promotions director, but there ain't no point in bringing that back.
The promotions director just said he doesn't give a damn. Just leave it there.
Good.
Yeah,
good.
I'm looking at him right now, so he doesn't give a damn. Leave it there. Yeah. Hey, we got a lot more to do, though, before you have to start cleaning up. We got a couple hours left on Radio Row ourselves and a lot of big guests coming up. So don't go anywhere. We're going to continue as we get ready for the big game on Sunday. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Injuries do happen, and when they do, you can skip the ER and get straight to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, strains, conveniently, easy for me to say, located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday. They have on-site x-ray casting and bracing. In fact, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, but best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. So if you're injured, get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic. Learn more online at tsaog.com. That's tsaog.com.
Our AA Best Bail Bonds radio row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. More behind-the-scenes access is coming up next on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Riding I-35 with the Blitz.
Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Always gets it. Valentine's Day comes with expectations, grand expectations, telepathic expectations, and heart-shaped everything expectations. Yes, even waffles. Kohl's has gifts that rise to the occasion, from romantic to playful, sparkly to sweet, or all of the above. Plus, get 15% off some of your finds. So go ahead, exceed those Valentine's Day expectations with Kohl's. Select styles, offer ends February 16th. Some exclusions apply. See store, kohls.com for details.
Eczema flaring up again? We have good news. Exoderm. If you or someone you love suffers from eczema or dermatitis, get Exoderm, the common sense answer for eczema. This stuff really does work. Exoderm contains the #1 doctor-recommended ingredient in a clean hypoallergenic cream with no harsh additives. Take back control of your eczema with affordable, fast-acting Exoderm Flare Control Cream. Exoderm. It's in the first aid aisle of your local Walmart, H-E-B, and other fine stores.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
George gets justice. After an accident, a lot of people think they can't afford a lawyer. They're already stressed, hurting, or maybe out of work, and the last thing they need is a big retainer fee to get help. But here's the truth. At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, you only pay if they win. Real help is within reach. Right now, call 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com. Principal Office, San Antonio.
Hi, everybody. Joe Reinagle here for the Golf Club of Texas. I absolutely love the Golf Club of Texas. They've made so many improvements to the golf course, from brand new cart paths to resodding the greens and fairways. You might think it's a private club, but it's not. It's open to the public 7 days a week. Best rates are always online at golfclubtexas.com. That's golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, you know where it is, right there off Briggs Ranch Road off Highway 90. The Golf Club of Texas is the friendliest golf course in Texas.
Can I take your coat?
Oh, you noticed. Yeah, I found it on eBay from a seller in Vegas. Pre-loved and perfect. She listed it and jackpot. Italian leather, classic trench silhouette. And did you see the braided buckle?
Hang on to your claim ticket.
Oh, I'll hang on to this forever. Have you been on eBay? There's so many finds. And I bet that diving watch would sell fast. Just saying.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-288-9944. That's 800-288-9944. Once again, that's 800-288-9944.
Rain-X wipers are the #1 wiper blades in America. That means all kinds of drivers choose Rain-X. Big drivers in small cars choose Rain-X. Small drivers in big cars choose Rain-X. Drivers with long hair and short commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with short hair and long commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with pets on board, babies on board, and bored babies on board choose Rain-X. Basically, drivers who love a clear view of the road all choose Rain-X wipers, the #1 wiper blades in America.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. San Antonio's Sports Center.
San Antonio Spurs had to outscore the Mavericks in Dallas last night. They did win the game, 135-123. Wemby, he scored 29 points, grabbed 11 boards. Spurs welcome the Mavs to San Antonio tomorrow night. They'll tip early, 5 o'clock, inside the Frost Bank Center. Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Roger Craig, Luke Kuechly, and Adam Vinatieri. They belong to this year's class in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Live from AA Best Bell Bonds Radio Row in San Francisco with coverage leading up to Sunday's big game. It's The Blitz with Jason Minnick and Joe Reinagle on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Well, happy Friday, everybody. We have made it. The weekend is in sight. So happy you're along with us here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars. We continue our big game coverage courtesy of AA Best Bail Bonds. And, well, I tell you what, I'm here in San Antonio. I'm Joe Reinagle. Jason Minnick is out in San Francisco. And, Jason, we have a poll up on our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page. It's just simply who do you think?
A poll that's staring at me.
Who's going to win the Super Bowl? Right now, the Seattle Seahawks are running away with it, 81% to 19%. There's only 78 votes, though, so nothing is official until we get 100. Have you voted yet, Minnick?
I have not, although I'm just going to increase that number for Seattle. But it is kind of a call your shot Friday. The big game is Sunday, a game that you can listen to here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You go vote, and I'm more curious for those of you that are voting for New England, why? So if you're on YouTube, the comments, or you could do it the old-fashioned way. Hell, it is Sports Talk Radio, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. I think those that are going for Seattle, and you could tell us too, especially if it's something unusual that you're thinking about, but I think it's pretty obvious why Seattle. So if you're on New England, what are you thinking is going to be the difference? What is that reason? You know, Reinagle has his reasons, and Reinagle has not wavered off of his love for Drake May for months now. You know, they have chants about Drake May that Joe chants in his sleep at night while thinking about this football game.
Yeah, I should order one of those T-shirts, huh? Have you seen the T-shirts, Gay for May? And it's like a chant in New England, in the Boston area. That's what they're saying. It has nothing to do with that necessarily. It just has a lot to do with New England overall. I think they're very underrated in this thing. And I think everybody's in love with Seattle because of the game they played against the Rams the other day. But we're going to go over this, and I'm going to show you, Jason, that the New England Patriots have much more firepower on offense than the Seattle Seahawks do. It's just that simple, and I'll prove it to you. And defensively, I'm not sure that Seattle's defense is that much better than New England's.
Well, I mean, you know, it's defenses aren't going against each other. It's that Seattle defense shut down Drake May. And you know, it's funny because there's so many different Drake May. I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm gonna show you this video that my daughter Erica shot earlier of some lady that was walking around. I don't even know, honestly, how to describe this dress this woman was wearing, or her helmet that
a helmet
that she's got all sparkled out. If you're watching on YouTube, it says "Good golly, Drake May," but that dress is so sparkly, and the helmet is half Seahawks, half Patriots. I don't know what the hell is going on there. Quite frankly, I don't know how she got that dress on, and you could tell she could barely walk in that dress, if you know what I mean. But you know, those that like Drake May like sparkles. I can tell you that.
Well, I don't understand that either. And now I see with the dress, it's Drake May and it's the Patriots, but then you got the helmet that is, you know, halfway down the middle for both. I'm not sure exactly what kind of statement she's trying to make there, Minix.
Well, I think who the hell knows? No idea. She is apparently some sort of fashion designer, if you call that fashion. She is from Boston. You know, she keeps the Seattle part tucked under her arm there, and is showing off the
tucked?
Patriots.
Wait a minute, what?
The Seattle part.
Okay. All right.
The hawk is hidden, if you will. We'll see. We'll see.
By the way, we've got and I don't know if she's voted on our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page. If she hasn't, she needs to go there. Our good friend Gillespie is giving me all her reasons why she likes the New England Patriots. And for the first time, I mean, I don't know, I get along well with Gillespie, but we agree. We agree.
And that doesn't happen very often. And she is one with many, many flaws, and her love of New England is one of them. She says Drake May's humbleness, Diggs' want for a ring, and Coach Vrabel. Right?
Yes.
And I mean, those
all
are
good
all
points.
reasons while they are in the Super Bowl, but none of which will get them a win in the Super Bowl.
Well, it remains to be seen, and I can't wait. So we'll see. And I can't wait to come back. And I've already told everybody on San Antonio Sports Star YouTube, I'll be here on Monday. And if New England wins, I expect everybody to be here as well. You'll be here, Minix, so I can ridicule you. But
well, I mean, we'll see. I mean, yeah, I'll be there for sure. But ridicule, I mean, that's the beauty of sport, right? They still have to go play the game. We can all talk about it. We all have our reasons why we like something. We're all going to make a bet. This is smelling like a beer bet, Ryan Engel, between you and me. And we could do that now, or in fact, I should do it now because our good friend Doug Kazerian, the gambling guru type, he's going to join us in about 20 minutes from right now. And I think after you talk to Doug, you might change his mind. I have no idea what way Doug is thinking, but, you know, he's a smart gambler. He's made a whole lot of money gambling, and, you know, he thinks like I do. So
well, how do you know that?
How do I know that?
Yeah. Did you talk to him already? What is this? Inside information you're getting?
No, we've talked about all kinds of things. We were at a party the other night, and we were talking about the Spurs, not about this particular game, but I'm just saying he is a smart bettor, and the smart money is on Seattle.
Well, there's money on Seattle. I'm not sure if it's smart or not. So we'll see. I think the casinos might just rack up mucho dinero this weekend. Now, everybody betting on Seattle, that's great. And, yeah. You know, Ronald Leffler on our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page, being a real smart ass, says, Joe has made me money all year by doing the opposite of what he does. So go see chickens.
Go see chickens.
That's what he says.
I mean, that's it. Listen to Ryan Engel and do the opposite. Yeah. You're going to come out ahead.
Yeah, y'all do that. And I'll be here on Monday, and I expect everybody else to be here on Monday as well. So
I may be here on Monday. Depends on how tonight goes in San Francisco.
You'll be here on Monday. Guaranteed. Mm-hmm. That's going to be fun. And I'm looking forward to the game. I really am. I just hope for a good game. I honestly do. And we'll see what happens in the end. But I just think it's going to be a lot closer game than a lot of people. I certainly don't see a 17-point blowout, as our good friend A.J. Hoffman said this morning.
You know, I think Seattle by double digits. I do. I'm thinking 10. I could see, though, Seattle getting a late touchdown to make the score look a lot more lopsided than the game really is. I don't think this is going to come down to a game-winning field goal, and if it does, my money is on Seattle if they're the ones that are in position to kick with their kicker can boom it. But I do think a comfortable 10-point win plus for the Seattle Seahawks.
Well, I just wonder what the over and under is on or the higher or lower, however you guys put it, on on interceptions for Drake May. Not Drake May, but the other guy, Sam Darnold. I mean, he's going to have at least two. At least two. One of them may be returned to the house.
At least two. Well, there's a whole bunch of prop bets that you can make. And I got a list from our friends over at Bet Online, and I'm trying to go through. Let's see if I can find. There's this pages. All right, let's see. Interceptions, not seeing anything there. Drake May at 37.5 rushing yards. I want to see. They don't have interceptions listed here that I could see in a hurry.
I would love 37.5. That's interesting. I could see that happening, and that could be a big key to the game. If Drake May gets loose and can pick up some first downs with his legs like that, that could be a big key to this game. But look, Darnold can run too, so he's mobile. He can pick up some first downs that way as well. That's why I just think it's going to be a good game, and I think I'm going with the coaching staff more than anything in the world. Plus, the New England defense is underrated. They're almost as good as that Seattle defense.
Well, almost as good. I'm glad the way you couch that. I look at one thing where you're on Sam Darnold in 2 interceptions, and I hope you make that wager because you're going to lose even more money. Because I don't think Vegas is expecting that to happen. I don't see an interception prop, but Sam Darnold's favored to win Super Bowl MVP. So they're clearly not thinking he's going to throw a bunch of interceptions. And I know you love Vrabel because he coached your beloved Tennessee Titans for a hot minute, and you're pissed off that Tennessee fired him, and they should all feel like crap for firing Vrabel because look at what he's doing in a short amount of time there in New England. Guy can coach. You just don't know. You don't know Mike McDonald as well. Nobody knows him. And so you talk about underrated. The most underrated person in this game is the Seattle Seahawks head coach.
Wow, his Heine's going to pucker big time. He's in the Super Bowl for the first time. Are you kidding me? This guy's going to fold like a cheap suit.
So is Vrabel as a coach.
Yeah, but Vrabel's played in Super Bowls. He's okay.
He's never coached in one. He's never had to worry about the offense. He's never had to worry about time management.
He doesn't have to worry about the offense this game. Yeah, they got a guy by the name. I think he's coaching about 10 Super Bowls. And Josh McDaniels. So it's all good.
As a head coach, and Kubiak's about to become a head coach in short order. I mean, we can go tit for tat all day long, Brian Engel.
Well, I'm gonna prove to you that Seattle does not have near the offensive firepower that the New England Patriots do, and we'll do that when we come up. And you mentioned Doug Kazerian. He's coming up at the bottom of the hour. Looking forward to talking to him. He is a gambling expert, and he can tell us how things are going and maybe give us a pick or two. Who knows? But we got a lot more to do here on our final day of Radio Row, which kind of sucks to say, but I'm glad that, the game's almost here. So we'll continue here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star in a moment. First, though, I got to tell you, next Wednesday, Jason, we're going to be out at Novo Brewery. Novo Brewery, my new favorite place. I'm going to tell you this thing. This place is attached to North Star Mall. We're going to be live out there 2 to 6. We're also going to have some tickets we're giving away that day to Jelly Roll and Post Malone. You got to be there to win them, so make your plans now to come out to Novo Brewery on Wednesday when we broadcast live from there from 2 to 6. It is the new sports watching destination, I'm telling you. I've been there a couple of times now, and it just gets better every time. You walk in there, it is an upscale restaurant bar. It is just fantastic. Upscale. You go in there, there's TVs all over the place. There's not a bad seat in the house. Plus, they've got a full bar. They've got all kinds of Brazilian beers that they brew themselves, and they've got a full lineup of any kind of beer that you want on draft or in the can. And they've got hard kombucha. I had never tried that. In fact, I'd never heard about it until I went in there, and I've tried a couple of different ones now, and they're fantastic. It is really a great place to go. And the food menu, they've got everything from steaks all the way down to burgers and fries and poke nachos. It is just a fantastic place. You need to go check it out. I promise you. They're brand new. It's their first Texas location. Go check them out. They're attached to North Star Mall, but they're not mall hours. They're open late. They've got their own entrance, so they're not relying on the mall hours. You can go late if you want to as well. Get on out there. It is Novo Brewery, and it's novobrew.com. Check them out online, novobrew.com, Novo brew.com.
Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. More wall-to-wall coverage leading up to Sunday's big game continues next on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the big game in Silicon Valley, and the only local station bringing you exclusive wall-to-wall coverage from the Bay Area. All brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. We're live from Radio Row with insider interviews, breaking stories, and all of the pregame excitement leading up to the superb hour. From the biggest names in sports to behind-the-scenes access, we've got it all. Your AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Your front row seat to the backstage action, live from the Bay Area, is 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
The Gomez Law Firm is proud to be San Antonio's trusted personal injury law firm for the past 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us. Your firm has been fighting for the people of San Antonio since 1973. That's incredible.
There are not a lot of businesses that stick around for even 50 years, let alone personal injury law firms.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then turn to the law firm that will fight for you. Visit joegomezlaw.com.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Oh, yes, playoff football is here, baby, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all that action. Playing on Underdog is so easy. You pick your favorite players. Are they going to go higher or lower on their stats? Sounds simple, right? Touchdowns, rushing yards, receptions, passing yards, you name it. Is your favorite guy going to have more or less of those stats? And if you get it right, you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. How incredible is that? You know, everybody's playing at their peak right now during playoff season. Who do we trust? How about the guys who have been in the playoffs before? That's who I'm looking at consistently, guys with that experience to go higher on their stats. Download the app today. Use my promo code Alamo. You'll get $75 in bonus entries with your first $5. That's promo code Alamo. Underdog. Make picks, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Texas. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-444-9336. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-444-9336. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-444-9336. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-444-9336. 800-444-9336. 800-444-9336.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, we have a new Super Bowl champion. We'll talk about the big game, and NBA season officially starts. So we'll get into that as well. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Our AA Best Bail Bonds radio row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. More wall-to-wall coverage leading up to Sunday's big game continues next on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is getting close. Getting close. It is Friday. The game is on Sunday, and I cannot wait. Looking forward to the Super Bowl. We got a lot more to do, though, before we pack it up on this Friday afternoon. I'm Joe Reinagle here in San Antonio. Jason Minnick's out in San Francisco, been manning Radio Road all week long there. And, well, I tell you, still a lot of activity. I can see some people behind you, Jason, packing up, but sounds like a lot of activity still going on there on Radio Row.
A ton of activity, and about 3 minutes ago, John Gruden just walked by.
Oh, wow.
And the entourage following Gruden was incredible. And I don't want to say, it feels like there's a lot more fans in here than there should be. And I'm not sure how or why, because normally Radio Row is somehow very close proximity to Fan Fest, or sort of a part of Fan Fest, and you kind of feel like a bit of a zoo animal where there's barriers, and then on the inside you're okay. And I don't know if they just let the doors in or open or what, but a whole lot of people walking around that you kind of wonder how'd you get in here.
Well, maybe they didn't know there was a Super Bowl Radio Row going on. They just thought it was some kind of circus going on in here, and just wanted to check it out. I don't know. San Francisco, it just doesn't seem to know there's a Super Bowl going on in their city. Maybe that's because it's in Santa Clara, which is what, about 30, 45 minutes away?
Longer, about an hour and a half. They, in all seriousness, and man, I got to figure out what is kickoff time in California.
3:30.
3:30 California time.
Yes.
All the alerts, like all the media buses, the last media bus leaves at 10 a.m. To get out there. And then you have like the different stuff that you see for fans. You need to be on your way to the stadium before noon to get there by kickoff. It's about an hour normally, but it could take much, much longer.
Well, and I just wonder if this is going to put a damper on the San Francisco, the Bay Area, Santa Clara, and all of that, because I'm sure you're not the only one that is, not been happy with what's been taking place. And the fact that the convention center is an hour and a half away from where the stadium is another problem. So,
well, it's almost like, remember when we did Army Navy in Boston, and then you drove out to Foxborough? It's apparently a very similar drive, except for with Super Bowl traffic, like San Jose was supposed to be an hour and 10, and it took people almost 2 hours, 2 and 2 hours for when they did media day on Monday.
Well, driving out to Foxborough, there was no traffic, or not as much as I'm assuming there is there in California. So,
yep,
I don't know. It just hasn't seemed like a pleasurable experience. Although going out there and doing what you're doing, for us is a lot of fun. But there is a game at the end of the rainbow, and things are tightening up on our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page, Jason. About 88 votes, and nothing's official till we reach the century mark. But Seahawks now just 80-20. And so things are tightening up a little bit. New England's rallying here in the second half.
Oh, wait, so it went from 81-19 to 80-20, and you're going to try to sell it as things are tightening up?
Yeah, well, are they not?
He's trying to sell it as 28-3.
Yeah. I remember a team got up 28-3, and they got beat in the Super Bowl. Remember that?
Well, I do remember that. And so go to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page and vote in the poll. Just go to YouTube, search out San Antonio Sports Star if you've never been there before, and you'll be in good shape. You can go vote.
All right.
You can go vote.
Yeah, you need to.
You know, I want to see this 90-10. Let's take it the other way. A vote for the Seahawks is a vote against Reinagel.
You know what? And I want you to do that. I hope it's 100% to nothing by the time it's over.
It can't get there.
Well, I want it to be as lopsided. Look, this thing has been as lopsided as a game, a Super Bowl that I've ever seen, except maybe the time the Patriots played in their first Super Bowl with Tom Brady. When they were a 14-point underdog against the St. Louis Rams. And they won that game, by the way. Just saying. I'm just saying. They did.
They beat the greatest show on turf. Isn't that the beauty of it? When it's all said and done, just like every game, every Sunday, the NFL is built on parity. And that's why you got to go play the game, and we can talk about it, and thank God people want to talk about it because that's how we make a living. But until they go line up, the ball bounce is funny. Talking to Devin Hester, he thinks the special teams play could be a factor in this one with the return. But what if it's a muffed punt that sets up an easy touchdown? We've seen that. Missed kicks, a weird fumble, tip pass that gets intercepted. That's the love and beauty of this football game, which is why we watch, which is why we can't wait, because as somebody I know likes to say, we just don't know.
We just don't know, except in this case, I do know, Jason.
No, so. I know. I know.
I love it, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. I am looking forward to it. What's interesting is, and I just checked my phone again, that line has not moved all week. It's been at 4.5 all week, and it hasn't moved at all. No going to 4 or 5 or anything. And that's kind of strange for me. Now, I don't know if later today or maybe tomorrow and early Sunday that will change as people last-minute bettors are waiting to see and to get in on there. So we'll wait and see. But I was afraid it was going to move and go down. And so I put my money on it on Monday. But it hasn't changed a bit. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll find out and get some trends with our friend Doug Kazerian. He's going to join us here in just a couple of minutes and, maybe see what he's thinking with the anticipated line movement over the weekend leading up to kickoff.
I am looking forward to that. Formerly of ESPN, now the New York Post and The Athletic is where you can read Doug Kazerian, but you can listen to him right here on the Blitz because he's up next on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. And let me tell you about the Golf Club of Texas. And I want to tell you about this because it's going to be about 83 degrees today. Sunny skies, 83 degrees. You see that? I looked at the forecast for tomorrow, 83 degrees, sunny skies. Sunday, beautiful day. I'm telling you is go out and play some golf. You can do that. And the fact that the Super Bowl kicks off at 5:30, there's plenty of time to get out to the Golf Club of Texas, play some golf. You're in good shape. You can stay out there and watch the game if you'd like. My goodness, they've got TVs all over the place, whether the outside bar or inside the Tin Cup Bar and Grill. Either way, you're going to have a great seat and you're going to have a great time. So get on out to the Golf Club of Texas. And if you can't go this weekend, look, they're open 7 days a week. It's not a private country club. It is open to the public 7 days a week. So if you can go on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever, just get out there and see this beautiful piece of property. And it's a great golf course to play and a lot of fun. I mentioned the Tin Cup Bar and Grill. The food out there is absolutely fantastic. And they can make you any kind of cocktail that you want. They've got all kinds of beer choices as well. So you're not going to be thirsty or hungry. I can promise you that. Look, the Golf Club of Texas, get out there. You know exactly where it is. It's right there off Briggs Ranch Road off Highway 90. Whether you're headed out there for dinner at the Tin Cup or around with your buddies, how about your next tournament? You can have it out there. Go check them out. Best rates are always online at golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas is the friendliest golf course in Texas.
Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage, live from San Francisco, is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. More behind-the-scenes access is coming up next on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. It's 94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Big Game Giveaway. Predict the exact score of the big game in Santa Clara, California, and you could score $50,000. Make your predictions now at sasportstar.com. The 50K Big Game Giveaway, brought to you by Dietz Tractor. Score big with Dietz Tractor in Seguin and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Order Smoky Mo's Texas Barbecue for your big game watch party. For a limited time, the rib pack is available just for the big game with 3 pounds of mouth-watering ribs and home-style sides of your choice. Feed your crowd with game day favorites. For 26 years, Smoky Mo's has created craft-level barbecue with great neighborhood value. Smoky Mo's is great Texas barbecue served fast and friendly with 8 convenient locations in San Antonio. Stop by or order Smoky Mo's for pickup or delivery at SmokyMo'sBBQ.com.
Hey, I got you something.
What's this?
Just a little Galentine's gift from Jewelry Television.
JTV, I love their jewelry. I had my eye on this pearl bracelet on JTV.com. Plus, I love their colored gemstone jewelry. And oh, have you seen their gold?
Right now, take up to 70% off select jewelry and gifts at JTV.com.
You are not going to believe their gemstones and their artisan collections. Gorgeous.
Are you going to open your gift?
It's a pearl bracelet.
Visit JTV.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Texas is leading America again, and John Lujan is a big reason why. Working side by side with Governor Greg Abbott, Representative John Lujan helped bring high-paying jobs home and strengthen Texas's energy dominance. Now, John Lujan is ready to bring the Trump agenda home to Texas. That means fighting for affordability, higher-paying local jobs, and lower federal taxes for working families. It means defending Texas energy, protecting oil and gas jobs from failed liberal policies, and keeping America #1 in energy production. It means securing our border, making President Trump's border policies permanent, crushing the cartels, stopping fentanyl, and ending human trafficking. And it means rebuilding our military. No social experiments, no distractions, just the strongest, toughest fighting force on earth. Conservative John Lujan is the only candidate endorsed by the San Antonio Express-News, Texas Alliance for Life, and Governor Greg Abbott. On March 3rd, vote Republican John Lujan for Congress. Abbott, Trump, Lujan, a tough team for Texas.
Political ad paid for by John Lujan for Congress.
Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuits is welcoming new furry family members. 6,000 square feet of indoor play, 5 outdoor yards, and trained staff for your pup. Call 210-750-1298 today. Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuits.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is back. Monday, March 30th at the Golf Club of Texas. Get your slot now. $150 per person or $500 per foursome. The Spring Golf Classic, benefiting fitting animals at no-kill shelters across Texas, is presented by Flight by Yingling, sponsored in part by Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, and Ancira.com. The Spring Golf Classic, Monday, March 30th. Sign up now at sasportstar.com. Our AA Best Bell Bonds Radio Row coverage, live from San Francisco, is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds.
It is a Friday here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagle here in San Antonio. Let's get back out to San Francisco, though, because that's where Jason Minix is standing by with a guy that might give us a clue as to where to put our money this weekend.
Well, I mean, it's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to try to help Reinagle not lose as much, or as we often say, you hear what Joe says and bet the other way, you're going to win more. Doug Kazerian joining us now here on Radio Row. It's crazy, Doug, because, it's 4:37 in San Antonio, so 2:37 here. I just asked you, what party did you go to last night? You were here at 9:30 last night. What the...
I know they say that work's not a four-letter word, but sometimes it is, right? And look, you guys work your tails off. Our entire industry does, and it's now spread out a little bit, so we all have different sort of stretches of work. So my biggest work stretch is usually Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday nights, because I have a YouTube show that comes out Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning, and I got to get the raw footage to an editor, things like that. But you got to do it. And you guys are live grinding, and it's not a grind because we love what we do, but, it's not laying on the couch with a beer in your hand either. You guys, it's exhausting at times. It takes a lot of mental energy, a lot of prep. People overlook that a lot. But sometimes, to your point, Jason, you got to put in the hours and whatever the hours demand.
Now, for the record, Joe, and Doug will vouch for this, we saw each other the other night at a party. We talked Spurs and that line that was like 10-10. We did not talk Super Bowl or right. Betting, right? So I have no inside knowledge on which way you were thinking what you're going to say. And it's funny. We talked sports, just wasn't about the Super Bowl, correct?
Correct. We were very I was more bullish on the Spurs winning a title this year, and you were saying you're cautiously optimistic kind of thing.
And again, in that game against Oklahoma City, they punted, and we were talking about that was the conversation, Reinagle. So, while you've been on New England for 2 weeks and I've been on Seattle for 2 weeks, as we start this discussion, I have no inside knowledge of which way Doug is going to tell you why you're wrong, Joe. I just know Doug, he's smart, and he's about to tell you you're wrong.
Well, before we get to that, Jay, I'm going to leave that out there for just a second. Y'all were talking Spurs, and Doug, I don't know how you see the San Antonio Spurs and where they stand and how what the betting is like with them and the odds for them to go all the way to the finals. But this team just has some holes. I think they're a year away, maybe 2 years away. How do you look at the Spurs?
I defer to you guys on this because you're there day to day and you kind of know it and are in an NBA city, so you see other teams come through and everything, and I really respect that. I'm an NBA junkie. I grew up in LA during the Showtime era, so I've just always loved the NBA to watch it. I think so much of it in the last couple years, the NBA is very different than the previous era of the NBA, where it was predictable and 1.5 to 2.5 teams could win the championship, right? We kind of knew it because it's a best of 7, not March Madness. It's a truer outcome. I mean, nowadays it's 7 teams can win it all every year the last few years, right? So I think the Spurs are in that bucket, if you will. And I think it could come down to matchups, and they might have their number. Just obviously Wemby is the great equalizer or the great unicorn that you can't really offset it. So if he's playing great, there's no counteracting that. But I think they have all the pieces you need around a superstar like Wemby, because I think he's arrived. I know he's going to get better, just like every superstar has, but I think he's good enough to lead to a title. Kind of like Luka was when they went to the finals, but he has the defensive side that Luka does not. And they kind of ran into a Celtics team it was their time. But I just think this OKC team, everyone wants to rave about them. And I did too, because I bet them 74 plus wins this year, and that's not happening. But let's not forget they were down 2-1 in the second round last year to Denver, and down in the fourth quarter where the money line was priced in-game on the Nuggets to win the game. So they came back. I think they forced overtime in Game 4, and they pulled the rabbit out of the hat. And frankly, they got a little fortunate in Game 7. They were trailing the Pacers at halftime. So, and this is a team that was young and wet the bed 2 years ago in the playoffs. Yes, they added Hartenstein. Yes, they added Caruso. But this is still not some juggernaut that can't be beaten. I think their coach makes mistakes, and I think anybody can have cold shooting. And they have some guys I just wouldn't want to be in the foxhole with from a shooting standpoint, like Lou Dort and Holmgren and some of these. Like, I think they're beatable. I think the officiating has started to turn against SGA a little bit. So I think this is far from being decided. I think Denver's going to be in the mix as well. Those three in the West.
Going to be interesting for sure. Doug Kazerian here on the Blitz. Now, on our YouTube page, the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel, we've got a poll up. Very simple. Who's going to win the Super Bowl, Seattle or New England? Right now, it is 79-21 Seattle.
Okay. Well, if you do the money line, which is to win the game, and convert it to percentages, it's about 70%, 69.7. So it's ballpark. I have not bet it. So I've not bet any side or total on the game. I think the line's right. I would have bet Seattle if I have to. I'd lay the points, but I don't have to, right? It's a -110 bet or -105. And I think there are better wagers in the prop market. I mean, I live in Vegas. I do this. I've been doing this 20 years. Like, I do it to make money. I don't, I'll have more money on, maybe a basketball game that day than I would on the Super Bowl. Probably not collectively with all the props, but I understand it's a conversation, and there's people love betting it one thing a year, just the Super Bowl. They like to have fun, and I'm all for that. It's entertainment for a lot of people, and it's like having a bucket of beers with your friends. You guys all share a parlay or whatever. I'm not going to make a wager on something that I don't think has an edge or whatever. So I think the line's right. I think Seattle's really good, but I also have a lot of respect for the coaching staff of New England, both offensive coordinator McDaniels and also obviously Vrabel. And I think they're going to be ready. I think the scouting, I think that extra week, these teams really, really prepare. If you look what Brady said, he said, we had a couple times we've scored touchdowns on plays that we didn't have in the playbook until Saturday morning of Super Bowl weekend, because it was specific to the opponent. And there's no stone goes unturned, right? So I think there's going to be some things where you can get and attack Seattle that's really tough to do. Obviously, there's no real major flaws, but there's minors. And then I think 2 weeks of glazing Sam Darnold has me a little concerned as well.
Well, true. And I've got to ask you, and Jason and I were talking about this before you came on the show. I was looking at that line. It really hasn't moved all week long. Is that normal? And will we see maybe some movement over the weekend?
No, it's not normal. It's a little abnormal. We've seen it. It also depends where the starting point is, right? If the line's 3, it's really rarely going to ever move off 3 because it's such a firm number. 3 is the most common margin of victory in sports betting because 15% of NFL games are decided by 3 since the extra point distance moved back. But the last Seattle New England game, that moved. I think we had a switch of favorites, went from 1-1 to the other side. Typically, the heavy money will come in this weekend. So within 48 hours of kickoff is when the money arrives, the majority of the money. But from all my sources and everything, it looks like we're not going to have much line movement because even though it's been mostly one-way traffic on Seattle, one sportsbook guy said he has 6-1 ticket count, meaning for every 7 wagers, 6 of them are on Seattle. Other books are more like 3-1, but it's not overwhelming because there's so many prop bets. Like over 50% of all the wagers on the game are going to be on the props. So even if they're like lopsided, quote unquote, on the point spread, it's not that lopsided because they're going to have a bunch of other bets elsewhere. So the sharp money has actually come in on the dog. So that's why the line's not going to keep going up with all the money because professional bettors have already taken the +5 and +4.5.
It's interesting as you say that as we visit with a gambling expert. Is that the right term?
I think that works.
Betting expert Doug Kazerian here on the Blitz. Is Vegas good? If all these tickets coming on Seattle, and then when Seattle ends up winning this thing by 10, is this good for Las Vegas?
I think they don't really care because they balance their budget. Now, every book's different in terms of the futures prices. I don't know if we're going to see a matchup like this. Both of the teams coming into this season were about 60-1 or 50-1. Okay. It's rare that we get one team that was a 50-1 long shot. The fact that we have them both facing off is extremely rare. So I've talked to some sports books who are super liable, like DraftKings was extremely liable on the Bears and Patriots because they were taking bets all season on them. And as Johnny Avello said, it's not like we moved from 60-1 to 10-1. We moved to 58-1. Every week they kept winning, and we just didn't think they'd keep winning. So there's like millions of dollars for them to lose. Now, you can massage some numbers and take and mitigate risk that way. But again, they're fine. They're in the business of booking. They had a bunch of liability on the Rams that all went away when they lost. They could have a bunch of liability on the Patriots that go away. And they have all these prop bets and they have other games. But typically they don't worry about the non-professionals because what happens is it's like the roulette wheel, okay? They know the odds are in their favor, okay? The roulette wheel has 18 red, 18 black, and then 2 green. If you're betting on red and you're getting 50-50, they're getting the little extra 2 greens on their side. And if you win, they don't care because they know the math is right. And you're just going to keep betting the next spin. So even if you win on the Super Bowl, most people just keep betting the next day on the NBA or whatever. So eventually they have the odds in their favor, and they can't win every bet, right? There's going to be people win. There's going to be people lose. They worry about the respected wagers because those guys only come out of their cave and bet and then go back to their cave and wait for an edge to be, in their favor. So that's all it is. But they want two-way action and they're getting it. But the big bets haven't come in, right? If Billy Walters, legendary bettor, comes in this weekend and wagers on Seattle, that line's going to go up.
Well, yeah, that's interesting. And Doug, you were talking about prop bets, and I know during the Super Bowl there's a bunch of goofy prop bets. You know, the coin flip and the national anthem length and all of that kind. Do you recommend staying away from that kind of stuff?
I do. Look, if it was this huge extravaganza, the biggest sporting event of the year, and you could only bet the coin flip, fine, go bet it. But you literally can wait like 3 minutes and bet something where you think you have a little bit, can talk it out with your friends, like the opening kickoff. Oh, I think the kicker's going to be nervous. I don't think we're going to get a touchback. Or the first pass is going to be a run because they're going to, that all I think is part of the experience of handicapping. The coin flip is not. And I just don't subscribe to the coin flip. If you subscribe to that, fine. Who am I to judge you or tell you what to do with your money? I just think there's so many other bets on the board that actually have a fun sort of analysis of it where you can break things down and things like that. I just think that's part of the fabric of the game, not just betting for the sake of betting, which is what a coin flip bet is.
Well, and that's kind of where it is. You bet to make money, right? I mean, that's how you make your living, right? Yeah, that's your job, right?
One of my revenue streams, let's call it.
Yeah. Biggest revenue? No, I'm kidding. It depends on the game, man. Depends on. So what are the prop bets that you really like to look at?
Okay, so I actually was shocked here that a lot of professionals, like the math nerds who shape the market, and I say that because there's just different schools of thought. I think they do really well, but if you're an eye test guy, it's kind of like the Moneyball thing, right? Your eye test or your spreadsheet driven. Travion Henderson is a guy who I've talked to some other guys who really like and others don't. I think it's a really good wager. So Travion Henderson's got the home run speed, and I just think he has to be part of the game plan. Now, in the playoffs, the AFC title game, he was not. But that's because of his style. It's sort of like Le'Veon Bell was, right? Like slow, waiting, pitter-patter the feet, and then maybe home run hit. That's not good in like the snow where there's no footing and things like that. You got to just shoot through the gaps and get what you can. That's not Henderson's style. I think he was a bad fit for the environment of that game and the conditions. I think he's a great option here, and he's got the home run ability. So do I like his over 17.5 rushing yards? Absolutely. But what I do like more is like over 2.5 catches, because I think scouting the Seahawks, you have to get the ball to your running backs. You got to get rid of the ball quickly, and that's some of their weakness. The Rams in the NFC Championship game had 5 receptions by their 2 quarterbacks. Blake Corum, the backup, had 3 receptions, which was plus 1,700. It's crazy. I had Kyren Williams over 2.5, and I couldn't get the 3, but the backup, whose prop was only a half, got 3. It's just the analysis was right. The game plan, it just the luck of the draw. Just they called those plays or whatever when the backup was in. I think Henderson's got that upside. He's 40-1 to lead the game in receiving yards. And when you factor in the defense of the Seahawks and you factor in then Gonzalez is going to maybe on JSN, I mean, you just got to get a screen pass. I had McCaffrey a couple years ago, 25-1, and he had that screen pass from midfield-ish. If it was like 10 yards back farther, I win my 25-1. So look, you got to kind of think outside the box. And I'm not doing it for 5-1. I'm doing it for 40-1. So a couple bombs are nice, but you kind of should have some thought behind. I'm not taking 100-1 on the kicker winning the MVP, but I'm doing the 40-1 in that regard. I think there's a path there.
Well, Doug, that's interesting that you say that. I think Hunter Henry is another guy that could have a big day just because you've got to get the football out. DeMarcus Lawrence, I think, is a good bet. I think his sack total is 1 or 1.5, something like that. I could see him getting a couple of sacks in this game.
Now, is that against the left tackle?
Yes.
The rookie? Okay. Yeah, the rookie, Will Campbell out of LSU. I'm okay with that. Now, Campbell is a much better run blocker, which is, fine. And I think he had some bad moments and some bad games here and there with his alligator arms or whatever. Remember, coming out of the LSU, he was forecasted by many teams, let's call it half the league, as a guard, not a tackle. So he's been fine. Patriots are fine with him. But, yeah, I think there's vulnerability there. Now, New England's going to do some things to chip or whatnot. But I think there's an angle there that I like the thought process, sure.
Doug Kazerian joining us here on the Blitz. And just for people listening at home, there's nothing in front of him. He's not looking at notes. This is all in his mind. Like you just read it and it's there and it's all. Ryan Eagle earlier was talking about trying to find the Sam Darnold interception total because he thinks Sam Darnold is going to have the Sam Darnold game, or he's hoping to, since he's betting the wrong way on this. Where is that number?
So it was about 130, like throughout like week 15 on, right? Every game that they played was like minus 130. And then because he was great in the NFC Championship game, I think it came down to like even money. So I think it's been bet back up. I know another thing that's been bet up is over 1.5 combined interceptions. So that's a little bit lower than each guy having an interception, obviously the distribution. But I could see that. Look, I think there's a chance that neither team can run. They both stuffed the run really well. Now, maybe they'll do design stretch handoffs, pitches out on the outside the gaps, things like that. But there is a world where it's a vanilla game, and we're looking at 20-10 final, field position, not too aggressive, get to midfield, punt, trust your defense. Things like that. Like there is a world where that happens. I'm not rooting for that, but it wouldn't be the end of the world to have a defensive matchup. But to that point, I think it'd be eat it. Don't give me the Jarrett Stidham backhand pass like we saw in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, no doubt. So just by saying that, and I think the total in this game is 45.5, and it's been that way. How are you
it's
with
been bet
totals?
Down a little bit. It's come down from about 47.5. Yeah, but I talked to one odds maker and he just kind of rolled his eyes. He's like, yeah, but they also bet sharp money is coming on the under. And he said, yeah, but they bet under last year. They bet under every year. So I wouldn't react too much to the under.
I got
And the one thing to keep in mind, especially if it gets a little lopsided, teams don't give up like they do week 10. They're like, all right, they keep fighting to the end in the Super Bowl. So team up 10, 14 is going to have to keep scoring and the team trailing. Or even if it's a blowout like we had last year, let's say it's 30-10, the team trailing is not going to go quietly. Like they're not putting in their reserves with 5 minutes to go. Starters are in with 5 minutes to go and trying to score.
All right, Doug Kazerian, I'm glad you told Ryan Eagle that he just flushed a whole bunch of money down the toilet, which is, I think everybody listening knew that because
I'm
they
not
were
sure
going
he
on
said
Seattle.
that, but that's all right.
That's exactly what I heard, Joe. I don't know what you've been listening to, but if you want to listen to more of Doug, where can people find you now on your YouTube?
Yeah, thank you. I'm a little bit of everywhere. So I guess Twitter would be the best place to find me because there's like a link tree with all my link, but I definitely on YouTube. So the Doug Kazerian Sports Network, I do a show 3 days a week. That's not betting related. That's just sports talk. Today was about, is there too much greed in the NFL, trying to go to 9 international games, eventually 16 and an 18-game regular season. And the other is just betting stuff. So I have a lot of links to YouTube shows that I'm on, and I write for the New York Post. I write for The Athletic. So I had articles out this week. I have my favorite prop coming Sunday in the New York Post. So that'll be fun. So I like to do picks on there and some other platforms.
Your favorite prop? Give it, Kenny.
It's going to be Travion Henderson over 17.5, right? As of now, but there's a chance we might do the index, the one I just said, 40-1 to lead the game in receiving yards, but the rushing as well. There's some good bangers or bombs there as well.
Good stuff.
Nice.
Doug, always great seeing you, man.
Oh, you too. Thanks for. I wasn't withholding. I just don't know what the prices will be Saturday night when we go to print.
I'm with you.
And
I
we're
got
obviously price sensitive. It's
As
all
we
about the
said,
price.
5 to 5 San Antonio time right now. That's what it is.
Yes.
Subject to change.
Appreciate you, Doug.
Right?
Right. Well, when all the San Antonio residents listen to this, fly to Vegas and bet it, the market moves. I got to find a different favorite prop.
Our friends at Circa would love that. That's for sure. Good stuff, Doug. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for having me, guys, and good luck to everyone. Enjoy the game on Sunday.
Appreciate it. Doug Kazerian, man. That's entertaining. I enjoy gambling talk like that from a guy that knows what he's doing and is involved with that day in and day out. And I'll be honest with you, Jason, I don't think about prop bets too often, but I think I might have to take a look at some of these and lay some money down. I think it's a good way to make some money.
Well, it is, and that's, I like a lot of prop bets. I think there's a lot of fun there, and when you go through, like on Underdog and looking for ones, there's areas where you can make some money, and you've just got to find those. And to me, I have more, well, I want to say more fun. I do as much of that as the other. But, a guy like Doug isn't just putting, $25, $50, $5 down and 4.5. I mean, his bets, are a lot different, and the return is a lot more.
Absolutely, and that's how he makes his money. That's the way it should be. Outstanding stuff with Doug Kazerian. And good luck to everybody if you are putting a wager on the game or several wagers on the game, whatever it is. Look, we got more to do from our big game coverage, courtesy of AA Best Bail Bonds, Smoky Mo's Texas Barbecue, and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. We'll return to San Francisco if Minix is still awake out there, and I think he will be. You going to be awake out there? You good, Minix?
Well, yeah, why?
I'm just checking, man. You look a little sleepy.
Uh-huh.
Too much partying, my friend. That's outside. I know how you are out there.
He's got Green Day tonight. He's fine.
We'll return to San Francisco in our coverage on Radio Row. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you're having any issues at your house with your plumbing, your AC, your heater, there is one company to call, and that is Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. Having a big party on a Sunday, bunch of people over, and toilets working overtime. You have a problem that won't be happy about coming out during the big game, but they will, and they will get you taken care of because that is what they do. They are experts at worst-case scenarios, big job, small job, residential, or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. No commission. Sales reps, they'll provide estimates and second opinions, and they have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And at Quartermoon, they are green certified. Call them 210-651-5899, 651-5899, or online at quartermoonplumbing.com.
Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. More wall-to-wall coverage leading up to Sunday's big game continues next on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
6 for 6, and the Aggies have the lead.
Your home for Aggies football. KTFM Floresville.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Free products and services are the best. They're next to non-existent, though. But the next best thing does exist. Barter. Alamo Barter. Right here in San Antonio, if you have a business and provide a product or service, you can barter with hundreds of other businesses that are already members. From trips to a medical visit, restaurants, and home services, Alamo Barter is a great way for you to trade out your skills with others. Call Alamo Barter or visit them online at alamobarter.com. alamobarter.com.
It's San Antonio's newest sports watching destination, Novo Brazil Brewing Company. Craft beers, kombucha on tap, a handcrafted food menu, 8 massive LED screens, conveniently attached to North Star Mall, open late. Novo Brazil Brewing Company. Go to novobrew.com.
Find what you love and love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly, B21.
Jane Dawson did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With the money she saved, she got herself a pricey bird feeder with an ultra-high-def camera. Should Jane have just bought a regular bird feeder? Yes. Is it hard for her to admire nature when the camera doubles as the bird's potty? Also, yes. But it's Jane's savings, and if she wants to spend her time watching the digestive habits of the white-breasted nuthatch, we say you go, girl. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? SafeStep walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. SafeStep walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. SafeStep walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. SafeStep walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
The big game is on Sunday as the NFL season comes to a close and will crown its champion. The Seahawks taking on the New England Patriots in Santa Clara, California. Kickoff is set for 5:30 on Sunday. You can catch that right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Car. Pre-game lead-up begins at 11 o'clock Sunday morning, so you got plenty of time to get ready for that.
Live from San Francisco, it's The Blitz, broadcasting from AA Best Bell Bonds Radio Row ahead of Sunday's game. Here's Jason Minix and Joe Reinagle on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Oh, yeah, baby. We're getting close. It is 5 o'clock. If you're getting off work now, your weekend is here. Congratulations. It's going to be a great weekend, Super Bowl weekend. That's always a lot of fun. Glad you're spending some time with us here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagle out in San Francisco. Jason Minix is out there, and a little bit quieter Radio Row than it has been all week.
Yeah, well, it's 3 o'clock out here, and for all the shows that are done, they've already moved out. And, it's interesting, on Sunday afternoon, Monday morning, everything was getting built and set up. And now you're seeing everybody tear down and move out, which is always kind of interesting because, you move in. It's like the circus, man. Everything gets built and then on to the next when the week is over. It's kind of crazy.
That's the way that it works out there. And that place behind you, I can see guys and gals cleaning up their stuff, packing it away and putting it away. And yeah, it's interesting because by the time you get out of there, Jason, you clean up the stuff and pack it all away, there's going to be nobody there.
Well, I mean, there will be some because, some of the East Coast shows that are still going, they might go a little longer, an hour or 2 hours. There are some night shows that are here. But, yeah, for the most part, it will clean out pretty quickly. Takes about an hour or so to get everything done, or 10 minutes, depending on it depends on how much Erica does ahead of time. If she decides she wants to start putting banners away and things like that early, then we'll be in good shape. And, I'm not going to wait for Rob Thompson to see if he wakes up from his nap to come help tear down.
Yeah, he's not coming. I wouldn't hold my breath on that. There's no way he's coming.
even if he got more than an hour of sleep last night, I wouldn't count on Rob coming back because, see, Rob discovered the other day how different our lives are in a sense of when he leaves, there's no traffic. He's like, man, I get there in a hurry. Every day this week, the trip is taken about every day, add 10 minutes to the trip because the traffic is so bad. Same leaving, trying to catch an Uber to get out and then just getting out of this area and back into wherever it is, where Airbnb is. I have no idea where it is. I know the street, but how to get there or whatever, I have no idea.
Well, that's interesting. So when you get out of there, it's it's damn near rush hour. A lot of traffic going back to the Airbnb.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, we all are familiar with the scenes from LA, the 405 or the 5 and all the traffic, right? San Francisco is exactly the same way. I mean, it can take you 30 minutes to go 2 miles.
Wow. All right.
This morning on the way in, I got 2 notifications from Uber asking if we're okay because we haven't moved in a while.
That sucks, man. That does. That's not good. Minutes out in San Francisco. Hey, our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page, our poll. We do have 102 votes. I still don't think it's enough because I think if we get some more, the Patriot fans just haven't awakened yet. Seattle is in the lead, 78% to 22%. So Patriot fans, now is the time to rally. We're going to keep this up throughout the show for the next, 50 minutes or so. So get on over there. Wake the kids. Phone the neighbors. Have them vote in our poll.
Yeah, and when you talk about the end of the show, because, I mean, it's time to call the shot. And you can do that on our poll, comment there on YouTube, or 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. But Kevin Harlan, the voice, is going to join us at about 5:45-ish, give or take, because, the great Kevin Harlan, and he just walked by, he is scheduled to join us before we go off the air.
Always good to talk to him. And I'm assuming he'll be calling the game on Westwood 1 this weekend right here on 94.1.
That is correct. The great Kevin Harlan. And again, he can't go anywhere in a room because he starts talking and everybody can hear him no matter where you are in a room.
I guarantee you that. So, hey, if you don't want to listen to Chris Collinsworth, tune into 94.1. You can hear Kevin Harlan. That's even better.
That's the Westwood 1 promo, is it not?
Absolutely. I think it's a great promo. Now, look, Mike Tirico is the best. He's great. But his partner, like nails on a chalkboard, Minutes. You know what I'm saying?
You're not a fan.
Not a fan. Not at all. Here's a guy.
I did not know that you are not a fan of the great Chris Collinsworth.
Oh, you didn't know that, huh?
This is like breaking news.
Breaking news. It's like Kyle Rudolph, man. How the hell did he know I was a Notre Dame hater? I mean, I don't know what's going on out here.
Well, because you talk about it every. No, I'm kidding.
That was a lot of fun. So you haven't changed your mind at all. See, I love the way this is going, the 79% on Seattle. And because I know our viewers and our listeners, and they're just not that bright when it comes to sports gambling.
Really?
And I love it.
Really?
So they all like Seattle. And so that just makes me so much more confident than I was even coming into work today.
Do we have a beer bet on this?
Absolutely.
All right. Just for the record, it's been a while since we've had a beer bet because you got tired of losing the beer bets as you want to talk about the gambling smarts of our audience. But I will tell you, the fact that everybody is on Seattle does make me nervous.
It scares the hell out of you, doesn't it?
It really does make me nervous that there's not enough out there that think that New England is going to do this. And Drake May finishing that close in the MVP voting, that surprised me. That would have been, I think, a bigger upset than New England actually winning the Super Bowl had he won the MVP. I can't believe that it was that close. There's just too much about Seattle. The questions that I have about Seattle, I think Sam Darnold has answered. Sam Darnold has played extremely good football over the last 2 years, and this year better than last year when he had the great Kevin O'Connell.
He's a bum. Come on.
When I look at Sam Darnold, and I know everybody is waiting for Sam Darnold to see ghosts and throw 5 interceptions and take 9 sacks. I just don't see Sam Darnold, this year's version of it, happening. And also, the talent around him, I think, is so much better. I mean, obviously,
so much better than what?
Than what he's had in the past. I mean, last year, you got JSN and Justin Jefferson. JSN this year had an incredible season, but his offensive line play is strong. His tight end is strong. He's got a solid running game. Kubiak and the way that he is calling plays, it's not on Sam Darnold to go win this thing. It is on Sam Darnold not to be the reason they lose it.
Well, look, he's got one wide receiver. That's JSN, period. Now, look, JSN can do a lot of damage. Cooper Kupp is, to me, he needs to retire. I mean, you talk about a guy that was fantastic, and now he's just like he's on a milk carton, for goodness sake. And then when he catches a ball, he drops it, and they felt sorry for him, and they gave him the catch anyway. Rashid Shaheed has done nothing in the offense.
What were you drinking when you were watching that game? I mean, and you're right. I mean, he is not what he was, but he is still a great possession receiver when you need it. He's kind of like Jason Witten at the end of his career. You need a clutch catch. Cooper Kupp's going to come through for you. Rashid Shaheed's got that speed. That trade with New Orleans it was such a difference maker.
On special teams, not on the offensive side.
No, but I mean, just his speed downfield and that threat the Patriots have to respect. And that Bobo guy made a big catch the other day. Barner at tight end. They're not the household name, so a lot of people might be down on them. But this squad, they're in the Super Bowl. They've been getting it done.
Well, so is New England then. I mean, you already heard Doug Kazerian talk about Travion Henderson. They got Ramondre Stevenson, 2 running backs they can count on. Forgetting about Stephon Diggs, who is liable to have a big game. How about Kayshon Boutte? He makes one-handed catches look routine. I mean, this guy is incredible. Their tight end is Hunter Henry. He's fantastic, and he's going to get a lot of work as well. Not to mention the fact that you've got the MVP runner-up and in Drake May. And I'm telling you, this is going to be a good football game, and the Patriots going to win. So, beer bet. Let's make this official, Minix. You want to make it official?
It's time for another beer bet with the Blitz. Jason and Joe go head-to-head with the biggest bet of the weekend. Here's the Blitz.
All right, now I just want to make sure the ground rules are correct, so you don't take this and make it like 10 cases, and then that's not that I'm worried about it because I'm going to win. It is a 12-pack of Flight by Yingling.
Correct.
Okay, 12-pack. Nothing more.
I know you're trying to watch your wallet, knowing how much you're already going to lose on the bet, but straight up, Seattle, I'm taking the Seahawks to win. Drake May, like he finished an MVP in second place, will finish the season in second place.
All right, it is official. We got a beer bet, and I'll be here Monday. You'll be here Monday, and I hope all you 79%ers out there will be here Monday as well to cry your butts off. Every single one of you.
Just do me a favor.
What?
At some point tomorrow when you're out running errands, knowing that I'll be heading to the airport, just drop that 12-pack off on the porch. Ice it down so I can drink it during the game so you don't have to stop at the store on Monday because we all know you'll forget.
Yeah, well, I'm not doing that because I do have to stop at the liquor store tomorrow, though, just to get ready for Sunday. But I'll buy some flight for me. For Sunday. So, that's what I'll do for you. And then I'll have yours next weekend. It'll be perfect.
Yeah.
Perfection.
Sure.
So, clarification, because I'm writing this down. The beer bet is a 12-pack on the Super Bowl. Is it who wins or covers?
Straight up, buddy.
Straight up.
Straight up.
Got it. No points.
I'm not afraid. Straight up. All right. We got a lot more to do, and you mentioned that Kevin Harlan will join us here as we leave the show. Coming up about 5:45 or so. Looking forward to that. We'll talk more Super Bowl as well during that segment. Ed, we'll come back to San Francisco. Who knows what's going to happen out there as they wrap things up on Radio Row. This is The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Let me tell you, though, about my good friends at Stevens Roofing. Love talking about Stevens Roofing. You know that if you listen to the show. Family-owned company, local company, and just downright nice folks. They really are nice folks. But I tell you what they know how to do, and that's to take care of your roof. That is for sure. You know, they've been in business since 1983. Think about that for a minute. I mean, that should tell you all you need to know about the reputation, the quality of Stevens Roofing. And now they've added solar to what they do. If you've been thinking about solar panels on your house, now is the time to start planning that. Get it done before the spring and summer months hit here and the sun shining constantly. It certainly seems that way, right? Look, all you have to do is tell Stevens Roofing what you want to do, and they'll work with you. Put that plan in place, and they will get it done, and you know it's going to be done right. Stevens Roofing and Solar. You give them a call, 210-785-0994. Look, if you think you have a problem with your roof, if the freeze we had, a couple of them actually, if you think it did some damage to your roof or you've noticed something that you want to get checked out, call Stevens Roofing and Solar. They'll send a team out to your house. They'll inspect your roof. They'll do it for free, and they'll let you know if there's anything wrong, anything that needs to be taken care of. And if there is something, you know you've got the company that's going to do it and do it right the first time. Stevens Roofing and Solar, 210-785-0994, or you can visit them online at stevensroofing.net.
Our AA Best Bell Bonds radio row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. More behind-the-scenes access is coming up next on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. It's 94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Big Game Giveaway. Predict the exact score of the big game in Santa Clara, California, and you could score $50,000. Make your predictions now at sasportstar.com. The 50K Big Game Giveaway, brought to you by Dietz Tractor. Score big with Dietz Tractor in Seguin and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Hello, this is Jason Thompson, and as you know, I've been practicing law here in San Antonio for more than 30 years, helping people and families injured in traffic collisions. So I'm often asked, what is the worst thing you can do after a traffic collision? And the answer is easy. That's trying to handle it on your own without an attorney. Insurance companies have spent billions perfecting their strategy of paying nothing or as little as they can get away with. It wouldn't be David versus Goliath. It would be David versus a million Goliaths. You have no chance. Using AI for help is even worse because AI routinely gives dangerously inaccurate legal advice. It is laughably bad on the law. So bad that a lawyer filing a document drafted by AI will likely be disbarred in Texas. Keep it simple. Just call me. My name is Jason Thompson. I'll give you a free review of your case with no obligation to hire me. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400, or my website, alawyerforus.com. That's alawyerforus.com.
Here at Boot Barn, our objective is to build the perfect boot. We do take our time ensuring that every step is done correctly. For a boot to last you for a lifetime, you've got to properly build the boots. Hand craftsmanship is, in my opinion, the only way you're going to achieve that. We handcraft our boots. 160 people take a boot from start to finish. We have skilled artisans at every stage of the game. We've been handcrafting boots since the beginning here at Boot Barn, and we'll continue to do so.
Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuits is welcoming new furry family members. 6,000 square feet of indoor play, 5 outdoor yards, and trained staff for your pup. Call 210-750-1298 today. Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuits.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Okay, get this. Now at Wendy's, you get to go biggie with new Biggie deals. That means going biggie with the $4 Biggie Bites, biggier with the $6 Biggie Bag, or biggiest with an $8 Biggie Bundle. So now you can choose and customize your Biggie deal. As you should. Sorry, I get fired up when I'm talking deals. More Biggie options so you can get more of what you really want at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is back. Round up your foursome, your work crew, your weekend golf buddies, even the ladies, and get ready for a fun, laid-back day at the Golf Club of Texas. Monday, March 30th. Lock in a team for just $500 for a foursome, or jump in solo for $150 per player and spend the day talking trash, crushing drives, and laughing your way around the course. This isn't a stuffy golf club tournament. It's golf the way it should be. The Spring Golf Classic benefits feeding animals at no-kill shelters across Texas, so you're having a great time for a great cause. Presented by Flight by Yingling and sponsored by Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, and Ancira.com. And when the last putt drops, the day is just getting started. Join us for the after party at the 90 Proof Bar at Lucky Ranch Road and Highway 90. Cold drinks, great food, and all the post-round storytelling you can handle. So pick your team, claim your spot, and tee up with San Antonio's Sports Star. Sign up your foursome now at sasportstar.com. Our AA Best Bell Bonds radio row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds.
It is day 5 of our radio row coverage from the Super Bowl in San Francisco. I'm Joe Reinigle back here in San Antonio. Jason Minnick's out in San Francisco, and well, he's got another very special guest. Jason.
I certainly do. And, you know, I know you've been jealous all week that I'm out
really
here
have,
and you're not. And
Payton
Tubert joining us now. And there's a reason why you're not allowed out here, Ryan Engel. She's doing a lot of great work with Southern Recipe, small batch pork rinds and porkrinds.com. And Payton, I don't even know how do I describe you? Influencer?
Right. So I'm a sports content creator who was originally a filmmaker, actress, big sports fanatic, and LSU Tiger. Go Tigers.
LSU.
Yeah. Well, all right. So all of the what you call it, sports content creator.
Yes.
Right. So instead of influencer.
Right. Because people, I think, have a negative connotation towards influencer. So I like to say content creator instead. That's just kind of how I roll.
Well, you know, it looks like you're having a lot of fun out there. I'm looking at your Instagram. You've had an opportunity to talk with Drake May and some of the other players, and so what are you doing with these guys? Is it just strictly interviews, or what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, we do interviews. I've even done challenges with players before. Like one time I did a challenge with Brett Favre where I had to throw a football with my right hand and he threw with his left. And I actually beat him on the first try. But then I saw him like really rev it up and then he was throwing it out the park. But yeah, I do challenges. I do skits, interviews, sports edits, all the things.
And that's one of the things, obviously having a lot of fun with it, but it's legit content.
Yes.
I mean, so we can start breaking down the Super Bowl, and you're going to tell us why Seattle is going to win and cover.
Oh, yes. See, I like that. Yes, Seattle is going to win. The defense is too good. They're too hot right now. Might be the best Seattle defense we've ever seen. And, you know, the the Patriots, as I said, love Drake May. I've interviewed him a couple of times. Love his wife too. They're great. And I don't think this is the last time we'll see Drake May in a Super Bowl. But in this playoffs, I mean, how tough are these competitors that he's gone up against? And he hasn't been great in the passing. If anything, he's been better in rushing. But yeah, I think the Seattle defense is going to be really tough to take down.
Well, I really liked you at first, Peyton, but now I'm having my doubts because
no.
Yeah, look, I think it's going to be just the opposite. I think the New England Patriots defense underrated, and I think they're going to give Sam Darnold some trouble.
Yeah, well, I do think that they are underrated, and I know there's all kinds of talk about Sam Darnold seeing ghosts, but I don't think we're going to see that this time.
When you think about a game like this, Payton Tubert here on the Blitz, so many people are on Seattle, and so many reasons why New England can't win. And how many Super Bowls have we seen where a big underdog, and 4.5 really isn't that big of an underdog, wins outright, including New England years ago when they beat the greatest show on turf as 14-point dogs.
Yeah, I mean, totally. I mean, I think there's a lot of people who are rooting against New England just because of their legacy. And so I think that's a lot of what we're seeing out here. But I mean, I think New England definitely has a shot. Absolutely. I mean, their competitors, I mean, haven't been that great, but they've still been good teams. I mean, so we might see them, I don't know, maybe get it closer than we think.
As long as they don't lose by 5 or more, Peyton, I'll be okay with that. If you catch where I'm coming from there, yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you get started doing this? I mean, you obviously plugged into the NFL. You do some great work. I've been watching some of your reels. It's funny stuff. How did you get in so tight with the NFL like this?
Yeah, so really it's like a long story. So I knew from a very early age that I wanted to go into film somehow. So I actually started computer animation in the 2nd grade, which was kind of crazy, very ambitious for a 2nd grader. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to stick to short films. Started creating short films in like the 4th grade. And then I found out about this school in New Orleans called NOCA. It was the New Orleans Center for Creative Arts. So it's an arts high school. We actually just had 3 alumni win Grammys like last week, which is really cool. So I studied there film and media arts, fully planned on going to Hollywood and being a director, producer, and editor. So I was entering these film festivals, and I was like, you know what, maybe I should just start posting my films to social media. So I posted a YouTube video, and then it was like, it got 500,000 views on it, my first YouTube video. So I was like, wow, like maybe this is something that I could do and just like build my name up and get recognition. Let's see what happens. So that was 10 years ago. Kept posting on YouTube. And when TikTok came around, I went to LSU, go Tigers again. That's when we won the national championship. So I started posting about LSU sports, and it just really kind of kicked off from there. I created a whole page just dedicated to football content.
It's incredible. 1.6 million followers on social media. Your YouTube just does 350 million. I mean, you're really slacking there, Paige. You got to pick that up.
Yeah, we got to pick it up. We always got to shoot for the stars, for sure.
When you think about what started as I'm going to say hobby, you had I don't know if you envisioned this, but this has turned into a hell of a business for you.
It has been crazy. Absolutely. I did not envision this. I mean, it's kind of crazy because everybody's asking me like, what are you doing next? And I really don't know. I mean, when I was younger, I thought, I wanted to be Pixar, and then it was film, and then it evolved into sports. And then just recently I made my movie debut as an actress. So it's just kind of a wild journey, and I'm just kind of here for the ride.
Well, Peyton, what movie were you in, or what show were you in?
Yes, I was in a movie called The Cereal Aisle Effect, and I play a girl who works in a grocery store. She wants to become an influencer, and it's a dramedy. Basically, we get trapped in this grocery store during a hurricane. So kind of has like a Breakfast Club vibe to it.
All right, so where do we find this? Because, after Sunday, we're all going to be looking for something to watch because football season is over.
Yes. Oh, it's on Vimeo right now. I have the link in my bio on Instagram if you want to go check it out.
And your Instagram is?
It's Surfer Payton. So I haven't changed my username since I was 11. So it's Surfer, like surfing the waves in Hawaii. And then Payton, which is spelled a little funny, is Peighton. So like Leighton, but with a P.
All right, Peyton, I've got to ask you, LSU type, Lane Kiffin, what'd you think?
I love Lane Kiffin. I think, there's a lot of mixed opinions about him, but I think he's the best coach in college football right now. He's aggressive. He goes after what he wants. He's not going to take no for an answer. He's going to go hunt down a player in the airport if he has to. And I think we have a got a great season.
Hunt down a player in the airport with a big old check that somebody's going to write.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy how it's gotten into, and your content isn't just NFL. It's a little bit everything,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Football only, or after football, it's fashion and summertime fashion. If
Well,
you know what I mean.
I do a little bit of both. I'm actually thinking about branching into some fashion. It's funny that you mentioned that. But, football to me is king. Growing up in SEC country, we live and breathe football. I do a little bit of basketball content too, maybe some March Madness and some college baseball too, go Tigers. And I branch out into different sports. I actually went to my first hockey game like 2 years ago. So just try it out. See what happens.
Well, Peyton, it's interesting because you're creative is all get out, and I couldn't do that. I don't think. The stuff just come
For
to
many
you.
reasons,
well,
Joe.
Yes, but does the stuff just come to you? I mean, you just wake up one day, or do you study things? How do you come up with your content?
People have asked me this before, and I genuinely don't know. I'm a Christian, so I thank the good Lord. I think he gives me these content ideas so that I can put out into the world and entertain people and be a light. That's what I try to do with all my content, is just be kind of just lighthearted content, fun content, and keep it positive. So I think that's where the inspiration comes from, because honestly, there's a lot of them. Like one time I did this video that was like impersonating NFL logos, where I would jump into the air and then I would draw around it. I have no idea where it came from, but it did so well that ESPN hit me up and they were like, "Can we pay you to do this again for us?" And I was like, "Yes." So it's just kind of crazy. I don't know where it comes from.
Well, and again, it's working for you. Payton Tubert here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. And our table set up here on Radio Row, as you can see, we're kind of right in the middle.
Yes.
That the main drag is right on the other side of where Peyton is sitting right now. So we get to sit here and we get to see a lot of things going on. And you're one that, you kind of notice you for obvious reasons. You've been getting dudes to eat pork rinds as you're doing work with Southern Recipe Small Batch. You can walk up to any dude and get them to do anything you want, right?
I'd hope so. I mean, it's kind of hard. There's a lot of agents and people pushing around and saying, we got to get to this booth. We got to get to this booth. But yeah, it's definitely been an awesome event. There's a ton of people moving around. It's been really fun.
Everybody will stop and talk to you. Has anybody said no?
I don't think anybody has actually said.
See, there you go.
Of course
Who's the biggest name you've gotten to eat pork rinds?
Let's see. It would probably have to be Devin Hester. Devin Hester is a great one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
See, I could tell how she worked. Hey, Devin Hester is also working with Southern Recipe Small Batch pork rinds.
That's right. Yes, he is. Yes.
And your pork rinds. Are we going to get? Do we have pork rinds at the table?
Oh, you know what? Maddie had pork rinds.
We got to get to see you eat pork rinds here live on ESPN San Antonio. Look at that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And your favorite flavor is what? Tell us all the different things you're doing while we get the pork rinds with Southern Recipe Small Batch.
Yes. So pork rinds. My favorite flavor is probably going to be. Oh, you pulled it right out. It's hot honey. This is actually my favorite flavor. There we go. So what I'm doing with pork rinds, I'm posting content for them. We're helping to raise money for children with pediatric cancer. So it's great. We get to come out here and talk football for a good cause and eat pork rinds, which are amazing.
Rinds. And the Archer Foundation does such great work. And I know you need a snack. So Payton Tubert, appreciate you jumping on with us here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Thank you, Payton.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Here we go.
Crunch it. So you love that crunch.
Very nice.
ASMR.
Yeah.
Well, you got to love that, don't you? I mean, pork rind on the air. A lot of girls wouldn't have done that, but Peyton's not afraid, and I think that's awesome. And what a pretty cool little bit. I'm going around getting people to try pork rinds, and I didn't get a chance to ask her, but I would assume everybody's had a pork rind. I mean, we grew up with them here in Texas.
It is interesting if you're not necessarily from the South, but she will get any dude to do whatever.
Well, of course,
yeah.
And that's the beauty of shiny
watching
women.
her walk away.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
That is the difference between her and us, Minix. We have to beg and plead. She doesn't. That's the way that it goes. The way of the world. It's a great country, is it not? Yes. Hey, Kevin Harlan is going to be calling the game on Westwood One, which can be heard right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He is probably the greatest voice ever and the best in the business, certainly. He's going to join us coming up in the next segment. And we'll wrap things up from Radio Row as well. It's hard to believe that it's coming to an end, but it is. We'll be back here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
And, Kevin Harlan will have the call of the big game Sunday here on 94.1. It is right around the corner. It's Friday afternoon. You want to get in on all the action, you can with Underdog in Texas. And we've been talking a lot about the various individual player stats. And on Underdog, it's easy to play because you're making those picks if they're going to go higher or lower on stats. Joe keeps talking about Sam Darnold and his interceptions. Right now on Underdog, they've got Sam Darnold interceptions thrown. Would you go higher or lower than a half interception? Same for Drake May. They got him at half an interception. And so many other interesting stats you could look at. Pass attempts, both are at 30.5. Completions are both right now at 20.5. Touchdowns, both at 1.5. Yardage, Sam Darnold at 232.5. Drake May is at 223.5. Higher or lower? You can do that with all the different players and their positions, their numbers. Get your picks right. You can win up to 5,000 times your cash. Plus, they have different promos, new promos dropping every day in the app. So if you like making picks and winning money, Underdog is the place for you to be at the big game. So if you haven't signed up yet, what are you waiting for? Download the Underdog app today. Use promo code STAR to score $75 in fantasy bonus entries when you play your first $5 on fantasy. That's promo code STAR at Underdog. Make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus and present in Texas. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. And now, during our President's Day sale, take 50% off our limited edition bed. Shop now for a limited time. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
Eczema flaring up again? We have good news. Exoderm. If you or someone you love suffers from eczema or dermatitis, get Exoderm, the common sense answer for eczema. This stuff really does work. Exoderm contains the #1 doctor-recommended ingredient in a clean hypoallergenic cream with no harsh additives. Take back control of your eczema with affordable, fast-acting Exoderm Flare Control Cream. Exoderm. It's in the first aid aisle of your local Walmart, H-E-B, and other fine stores.
Texas is leading America again, and John Lujan is a big reason why. Working side by side with Governor Greg Abbott, Representative John Lujan helped bring high-paying jobs home and strengthen Texas's energy dominance. Now, John Lujan is ready to bring the Trump agenda home to Texas. That means fighting for affordability, higher-paying local jobs, and lower federal taxes for working families. It means defending Texas energy, protecting oil and gas jobs from failed liberal policies, and keeping America #1 in energy production. It means securing our border, making President Trump's border policies permanent, crushing the cartels, stopping fentanyl, and ending human trafficking. And it means rebuilding our military. No social experiments, no distractions, just the strongest, toughest fighting force on earth. Conservative John Lujan is the only candidate endorsed by the San Antonio Express-News, Texas Alliance for Life, and Governor Greg Abbott. On March 3rd, vote Republican John Lujan for Congress. Abbott, Trump, Lujan, a tough team for Texas.
Political ad paid for by John Lujan for Congress.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the big game in Silicon Valley, and the only local station bringing you exclusive wall-to-wall coverage from the Bay Area. All brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. We're live from Radio Row with insider interviews, breaking stories, and all of the pregame excitement leading up to the superb Owl. From the biggest names in sports to behind-the-scenes access, we've got it all. Your AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Your front row seat to the backstage action, live from the Bay Area, is 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds.
Well, the people have spoken, and I'm really happy about it. Our poll on our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page, 116 votes. The Seattle Seahawks, 81%. To the New England Patriots, 19%. Jason, I can't tell you, I feel great with that kind of a poll.
I'm glad you have the right attitude about that, Joe, trying to figure out how to make that look positive for you. Go that way, but it ain't over yet. I mean, it's over, but we got 17 minutes. It's 81-19. I'd like to get it to 85-15, 90-10.
Come on.
Because Seattle is going to roll. And again, we can get more votes in there. The polls are still open. The game itself is over. There's not going to be enough votes to swing it. In the political term, I think we could call this one, but Sunday we got a game. We still are going to watch a game. We're not going to go off the poll and say, okay, cool. And I don't know, because I've been out here, Joe, and you know what it's like here on Radio Row. You kind of lose track of everything else going on. But is there zero buzz about the commercials that are going to happen? Because I haven't seen anybody talking about them. That's one thing that is missed, another miss on this year's Radio Row. Generally, some of the different character stars, whatever, in some of these Super Bowl commercials are on Radio Row promoting that they're in that Super Bowl commercial.
You know, you're right. And I didn't even think about that until just now. You bring it up, and you're right. Usually there's at least a segment or two for us where you see a preview of some of the commercials that are coming out. And, I haven't heard any buzz at all about that.
The only thing is, a little while ago, I ran to the restroom, and on the way back, there's a Charmin mascot walking around, and they've got these giant rolls of toilet paper. I thought it was for all the bleep talking that's going on out here, but it did kind of make me, I wonder if Sharman's doing something, but that was my first, it's weird, like at one point that puppy monkey baby thing that was rolling around on radio, or some of the different commercials. There's been none of that here on this Radio Row, and I haven't read anything or the previews about the Super Bowl commercials.
Yeah, you're right about that. That's crazy. I haven't even thought about it. Typically that is. I did see earlier in the week an article that the Super Bowl ads are going to like $6 to $7 million for 30-second spots. And so I don't know. I'm sure, look, if you're going to pay that much money for a spot in the Super Bowl, you want to make sure it's done right, and you want to make sure it's memorable. And that's why typically they are. I'm sure they'll come out. We just haven't had a preview like we normally have.
Well, and generally I see them on the preview because, quite frankly, I don't give a damn about the Super Bowl commercials when they are airing because, I'm there to watch the game. I know there is a lot of people that, will go to the restroom or go to the kitchen while the game is on. They want to be there to watch the commercials. That ain't me.
No, me either.
And if you're listening to this show, that's probably not you. But for people that will be at our houses watching with us, there is an element of that, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people that aren't sports fans are watching the Super Bowl, number one, for the commercials, number two, for the halftime show. So that's pretty much what a lot of people do. But you know what I love about the Super Bowl, Minix, is the fact that it gathers people together, whether you're sports fans or not. This is such a big event that there's parties, and even if you're at home, I mean, people are interested in watching this big spectacle, to which it has become. Even if you've got a couple of teams that nobody thought would be there, and maybe there's nothing sexy about it. There's no Patrick Mahomes, no Taylor Swift going to be there, and you don't have that aspect of it. But I think what you do have are a couple of quarterbacks who have a lot to prove, and I think that's what's going to make this an entertaining football game.
Absolutely. And I think to a degree, you don't have the celebrity quarterback. There's all kinds of different elements and two teams that nobody thought were going to be there. To me, that's an attractive lineup. And you bring up halftime, Bad Bunny. I know there's a lot of people out there that maybe you recognize a Bad Bunny song, maybe two. My daughter, Erica, she went to the event that he had here on Tuesday. And, I'm interested. I'm not the political guy, right? I know they're all right, but whatever. What is he going to do? And what is it going to be like? And remember, as a 50-year-old white dude, the halftime show ain't for me. It's for all the people that are tuning in that otherwise don't watch a lot of NFL. And if that attracts fans to the game, that is what the league is looking for.
Well, no doubt. And I'm one of the, I don't care who's halftime entertainment. I'm usually not watching that. I'm usually doing something else, going to the restroom or get something else to eat, another cold beer, something like that. I'm just not into the halftime shows, and I really don't give a damn. So, but my wife is. She'll watch it, and you've got you've got people again that just aren't football fans. That's what they come for, the commercials, and they come for the halftime show, and so that's what it is. So. It's like you're directing traffic, Minix. Is that?
Well, I'm trying to. Kevin Harlan just walked past us, and he's supposed to be on with us, right now. So I have no idea. So I'm trying to send Erica to go track him down because I don't know if he's lost, not know where he's going. I have to, and that's the crazy thing on all of these. He's following a schedule and walking around looking at a piece of paper like he's lost. And the way they have this thing numbered and set up, like we're at table 59, the random, it's dumb. In that regard,
that's crazy.
It is kind of dumb. Yeah. So we'll go from there.
Well, I hope we get Kevin Harlan on. I hope he's not lost, and Erica can work some magic and get him over there. It'd be good way to end the show for sure with Kevin Harlan, who, by the way, will be on the call right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on Sunday. So, Kevin Harlan on the call of a football game is entertaining as hell because he just is the absolute best in the business. And so if you can't watch the game, if you have to be out and about, just remember, we got it for you right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. And Pledge tells me they're going to have intermittent pregame beginning at 11 o'clock in the morning here on 94.1, Jason.
Are they really? How
Yes.
are we going to do that?
Well, I don't know, but that's what Pledge tells me, so I'm going to go with Pledge. But on TV, too, the pregame shows are going to start about noon. They always do, and you have these huge pregame shows, and that's just kind of the way it is on Super Bowl Sunday. But looking forward to it. But again, if you can't be by a TV, you certainly listen to it right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Well, and that's all the good pregame stuff that's going on while you're out driving around, going to get your beverages or your food, whatever you might be doing. The coverage all weekend, especially on Sunday, is going to be incredible.
Without a doubt, no doubt. And look, I think this game is one of those games. Again, it's a David Goliath kind of thing, and I like that. I really do. I like the fact that nobody's given New England a chance, and except for a handful of us. And I think if you have a scenario where the underdog comes through and bites the favorite in the butt, I mean, that's an entertaining football game. And look, if Seattle does what most people think they're going to do and blow out New England, that's not going to make it any fun. So I'm hoping for a good game. If Seattle does cover the spread and wins this thing, I hope it is a last-minute touchdown or something to that effect where we got a close game all the way through 4 quarters.
The one thing that we know with New England, 28-3, even if it's looking lopsided early, it ain't over. Now, from that standpoint,
well, Tom Brady ain't playing, so that's
and does Drake May have the ability to cover that kind of a spread? And the answer is no. But it is kind of interesting. But I'm with you.
Why do you hate Drake May, Minix? I don't understand it.
It's not that I hate Drake May. I don't. I don't. But he's been awful in the playoffs. Let's be honest. I mean, second in MVP voting, he's had his moments, but that dude has not played good football in this postseason.
I agree.
And when you look at, if you're a Houston Texan fan, you're going to watch this game kicking yourself because C.J. Stroud played like dog crap against New England. And then Drake May had to beat not Bo Nix. Was it Jarrett Stidham? Didn't play well in that game either. And so, I mean, if you're a Houston fan, you're watching this game with tears in your eyes because you feel like you should be in that game. And quite honestly, they should be. And they would have a chance to win this game if C.J. Stroud would have pulled his head out of his ass early in the season and started playing good football. C.J. played awful in the postseason, too. And that is why the Houston Texans aren't in San Francisco.
Well, I mean, you could say the same for the Rams. If you're a Rams, Cooper Kupp got a gift catch to seal the game. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. The Rams had every opportunity to win that football game as well. And I'll remind you, and just saying, the Rams' offense a little bit better than New England's, but they put up 30-some-odd points against that great Seattle defense. So I'm not sure that they're as great as everybody's trying to paint them out to be.
Well, I mean, I know you're trying to convince yourself that you just didn't throw away some good money with the bets that you made on Monday.
Dude, I am perfectly confident that I'm going to do that. I don't know where Harlan is. We've got time. We got a guy who wants to call his shot, Minix, on the phone line. Let's do that. I don't know what his name is. Pledge, just put him on. Hey, Paul, what's going on? You want to call your shot?
Paul Berry.
Hey, Paul. What kind of wisdom are you going to impart on us today?
So, I know Jason. I know his teams. He loves the Cowboys. He kind of likes the Texans. He doesn't like the Seahawks, but he has to support his wife. And
exactly.
He doesn't want to put up with the BS that she will give him.
Paul, you hit the nail on the head, brother.
He's drinking all day.
Well, Paul hit the nail on the head. Your wife was going to kick your ass if you're not pulling for Seattle. You couldn't show up Sunday and watch the game and be rooting for New England. She would just beat the hell out of you.
I mean, and I'd be all right with that as long as if I thought New England was going to win the game, I would say that. She'd be mad, but that's how it goes.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes. Minix, you did a fine job, young man, out there on Radio Row all week.
Thank you, sir.
Good job. We have some great guests. We appreciate all of y'all joining us all of this week, man. It has been a fun week, to say the least. It always is. James, you have a show? Extra Innings with Pledge is coming up next. He'll continue this Super Bowl talk for sure. And then join us all on Monday when we react to whatever happens on Sunday. The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob gets you started at 6 o'clock. Minix and I, he'll actually be in studio. We'll be back, and we'll be here at 2. Until then, have a great weekend, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
Our AA Best Bell Bonds radio row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. More behind the scenes access is coming up next on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.